next generation of Detroit sports media is here. Crunch Time is back on Woodward Sports. Join Jeff Iafrate and Booner Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Taking Detroit sports coverage to the next level with massive interviews, viral moments, and the best live reactions. Get ready, Detroit. The young guns are taking over. Crunch Time on Woodward Sports.
We're back. It's Crunch Time here on a Friday, Woodward Sports. We got a lot to talk about today. It's going to be a packed show. Jeff Iafrate, Booner, KG, Caleb Zarnick. We appreciate you for tuning in, choosing us this morning. Don't forget, hit the like button on the stream. A lot of Tigers, a lot of Pistons. We're joined by a special guest at the end of the show. I mean, yesterday was a massive news day for the Tigers and the Pistons. Hunter Patterson, thank you for your great work at The Athletic.
Hunter's killing it, by the way,
you
man.
You just gave us a lot of things to talk about with the Pistons. Jalen Duren's future, what's happening with free agency, or will the Pistons make moves? We'll discuss that. We have the answers to that. And then the Detroit Tigers. Some massive questions that were kind of answered according to very reputable sources, being buyers at the deadline. Tarik Skubal's future with the Detroit Tigers, which I'm excited to get in those conversations. Very relevant to our show. You guys know, if you guys tune in every single day, we have a lot of conversations. We go at it. Tigers, Pistons. It seems like those topics are the two big ones that we go at it for, which makes me excited for the Lions season. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about today, Boone.
Yeah, we do. And it's really funny because everything that we've talked about this offseason when it comes to those two teams, it feels like yesterday for some reason we got a lot of answers. And obviously, things can still change. Like the Tigers, the trade deadline is going to come August 3rd. So there's going to be answers like fully. But by reports, those conversations we've been having, the Pistons, are they done? Are they going to keep getting, go get that number 2? We're starting to get answers a little bit from Hunter Patterson. And shout out to The Athletic. The Athletic, who was the reporter at The Athletic before?
James Edwards.
James Edwards. He killed it. Now Hunter's killing it at The Athletic. Yeah. Shout out to Hunter, man.
Yeah, he dropped that bomb yesterday, man. I read the article last night, and there's just jam after jam after jam after jam in that article. So, we'll talk about that. Let's start with the Tigers, though. So we had this discussion the last couple days. I know with everything that's going on with the Red Wings, we kind of tied it to the Tigers as well. Many assume that Tarik Skubal is going to be traded at the deadline. That is the right move by many, and I would also concur with that Tarik Skubal should be moved. Because, although it's exciting and we can have our conversations about the Tigers making the playoffs, and I still, me and Boone are on the same side with this. Like, I am rooting for them to make the playoffs. This report is a bombshell, okay? So Ken Rosenthal put out that the Tigers are not expected to trade Tarik Skubal at the deadline. Which, we can still, two things can be true.
Yeah.
Okay? We can root for them to make the playoffs, but also unequivocally say and undeniably say that it is the responsible move to trade Tarik Skubal. Now, Casey Mize, you can keep him, you can extend him. I'm all for it, just so you have somewhat of a rotation moving forward. But Tarik Skubal's future should have already been decided. He should have already been a piece being moved at the deadline. And he's the one that came out, and we talked about his comments. He said, we should be buyers. I don't want to leave the city. I want to stay here. Well, if the report is true and they're not expected to trade Tarik Skubal, then I feel two things. One, get a deal done then. Let's make it happen. Because if you do not and he walks and you get a comp pick, the other thing I'm feeling is, good, you deserve it. Okay, good. And this is where I'm at with the situation. Like, if you're going to try and be buyers at the deadline, which we'll talk about too, and you're going to allow Skubal to stay on the roster, like, okay, let's see how this thing works out. Because he's going to probably walk in free agency. Don't forget who his agent is and get paid a lot of money. And you're going to lose him for essentially nothing. Yeah. So instead of making your team better for the future, getting prospects and stashing some away and trying to get bats and build for the future, you're going to hold on to Tarik Skubal, hoping that you maybe win a playoff series with him. Because there's no denying that with him they are much better. Okay, without him they are a different team, and I know they found ways to win without him. But to me, this is just malfeasance by this organization, by Scott Harris, and if Chris Ilitch weighs in, by him as well, to keep a guy which has so much value, he's going to walk for essentially nothing, and you're not going to trade him at the deadline.
Hey, welcome to the party, y'all. It's about time, y'all.
This organization
deserves
this.
I'll say this. I would say, like, for me, though, I've always said for months you're trading Tarik Skubal no matter what. So it's not like, for me, it's not like it's not a party I'm joining now. It's a party that I've been a part where you've always had to trade Tarik Skubal. I've been saying this for months. I think this team, I said it yesterday, I said it last week when we talked about it 2 weeks ago. Whether you think you can get in the playoffs or not, right? Like, I think even without Tarik Skubal, and I get people might disagree with this, I think you can make a playoff, you can get into the playoffs and make a run here down the second half of the season without Tarik Skubal. If you go out there and get a good package for him and you get some ready now guys, and I've talked about this already before, but I think you can add to this team right now and still be like, I don't want to say like buyers and sellers, but sell Tarik Skubal, get pieces and use Tarik Skubal to kind of buy. And if there's other pieces, like again, the report is as well with Tarik Skubal, right? That the Detroit Tigers are going to be buyers, or Scott Harris wants to be a buyer at the deadline. You could sell Skubal and still be a buyer. Like, you can. Whether people think so or not, you can, because you do have a good rotation still. It's not like this rotation is one of the worst in the leagues without Skubal. You have a competent rotation. Maybe you get another starting pitcher within a Tarik Skubal trade. And it's not as good of a pitcher, but it's someone else to add to that rotation. Or, hey, guys, what's been bad about this team right now? The bullpen, right? Maybe you get a piece that you can add to this bullpen with the Tarik Skubal trade. Or you do the Tarik Skubal trade and you make another trade, a second or a third trade. Now, the only issue that I have is, and I've heard a lot of people say this as well, it's, do we trust Scott Harris at the trade deadline? Because he's had 2 or 3 trade deadlines already, and guess what he's done with them? Nothing.
Good.
Like, he's been bad at the trade deadline. So I think there is also, you have to be able to kind of weigh both of those options. Like, hey, this guy has not been good at the trade deadline, and we're going to sit up here and act like we trust him. I think this team is good enough to get in the playoffs and maybe not win a World Series, but make a little run in the playoffs with what they have. But at the end of the day, if you are that, you probably should buy a little bit, but I don't know if I trust Scott Harris to do so. So I don't know. It's a weird position to be in. I'm still all in on this Tigers team. I don't want you guys, I see both of you looking like eyeing me right now. Booner, where you at?
I'm listening.
I'm consistent. I'm consistent. I'm in on this Tigers team. I think they could do it. The trade deadline's going to tell a lot. And Scott Harris, for him, I'll tell you what, guys, and if I'm Chris Ilitch, whether you like Scott Harris or not, there's a magnifying glass on Scott Harris on August 3rd.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not just the Tarik Skubal thing. It's if you are a buyer and you decide, hey, you do want to go all in, and let's say in this next 2 weeks they end up fighting, and instead of 8 back of 500, they're like 4 back of 500. They're 3 back of the division, and if they actually start like win these games versus the Angels in a couple series, and you become a buyer, the magnifying glass really strengthens on Scott Harris for that. Like, what do you do at the deadline, and what moves do you make? Because last year, remember when they were supposed to buy, what pieces did he bring? That was like the most he brought like 40-year-old pitchers.
He brought in 7 guys, and one of them made the playoff roster. One of them,
and they were all like 40 years old. Like, it was like those were insignificant moves you made at the trade deadline. So if you are going to buy like you did last year at the trade deadline, and you're closer than you think you are now, you have to make significant moves. It cannot just be, hey, we're going to bring a 48-year-old pitcher in and hope that he makes. And like KG said, one of the 7 guys you traded for at the deadline and you made the playoff roster. That's insignificant.
Let me read the quote here from Ken, because this is what he said, just so we have context. Okay, so he said, he says, you've got a chance because Skubal's healthy. Other players are healthy as well, and you're in a weak division in a weak league. He also says in this quote that it just seems to me, unless the Tigers outright collapse, that they're going to be inclined to keep Skubal and go for it, because why not? So it's got to.
That was the point of the season,
and this tells me very simply, Scott Harris with Skubal, I think they can win the World Series.
This is why they went and got Valdez in the offseason. This was always the plan for the Tigers. So it's just one of them things. And when I say welcome to the party, it's because this is the dysfunction of the Detroit Tigers. They do things backwards for some reason, and now you've backed yourself into a corner in which this is a classic case of damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you do keep Skubal and you don't make the playoffs, now this thing looks absolutely like crazy, but you get a comp pick at the end of the day. If you do trade him, you're losing one of the best pitchers in baseball, and your team's going to suffer. I know you guys want to buy at the deadline, and I don't think it's the worst idea in the world, but when you're trying to get pieces to help you get into a playoff push, you kind of need good pieces to do that, and those teams are not going to be willing to relinquish those pieces right now, especially when you got the rest of the AL trying trying to get better as well. The Tigers, just based on their track record, I don't have confidence that they're going to be able to execute something at the deadline. And I'm so glad that you brought up Scott Harris and his trade deadline, like history, because it has not been good to this point. So that's why I'm kind of worried as a fan. Okay, what do you do? Because the whole point of the season was to retain Skubal and just go for it. But you started out so bad, like it made it to where you now have to kind of think about your future at this point. And I think the smart move is to trade Skubal, even though I didn't want him traded in the first place because we were supposed to be chasing it this year. It's a disappointment all the way around. It just is.
I've been saying this for a while, that my least favorite thing in sports, especially for general managers, is when they don't pick a direction at the deadline. Like, if you're going to buy, you could buy. But if you're not going to, then sell. And no matter what you're doing, if you're buying or selling, trading Tarik Skubal, you just have to do it. Because I think you could get players that contribute to your team for Tarik Skubal if you actually wanted to make a playoff push, and you believe you can without Tarik. But, Booner, great point. Chris Ilitch should have a magnifying glass over this whole Skubal situation. This is a fireable offense if Scott Harris botches this.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
The only thing that this makes the Skubal situation better if he doesn't trade him is the only thing that will make it better if Chris Ilitch steps up and gives him a contract. That's it. Like, that's the only out you have. It's either you give him a contract or you trade him. That's it.
Yeah.
You have one or two choices.
And one ain't happening.
One ain't happening. And if it happens, I'm going to be thrilled because now you have Tarik Skubal here for the next few years. Like, I'm head over heels. I'm like, there we go. We have Tarik Skubal long term. And I know last week I was like, I'm out on Skubal. Like, it's not the fact that I'm out on Skubal of him being here long term. I'm out on the situation of they haven't gotten this deal done. And I'm out where if there is no deal on the table and there's no deal signed, move on. Like, again, you're getting a comp pick for him when he leaves.
Yes.
That's it. Like, the best pitcher in baseball, you're getting a comp pick, back-to-back Cy Young winner. That's all you're getting.
Yeah.
And that's disappointing, especially if he just walks and you get nothing. Like, to me, but I do think I'll say this, guys. Like, this is the number one thing. I do think, like, right now, what's the poll at? 62%.
Yes.
62% say they should buy. Guys, I'm in on the buy. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't like the buy. It's just I truly believe you can buy and use Tarik Skubal to buy, and you can use other pieces on this team to buy. I really think that's true. I don't think that's like out of this realm.
Yeah, or at least acquire young, elite, you know, talent to accelerate, or at least get a jump start to where you are post Skubal. Like, if you look back, and someone tweeted this out, it's a great comparison. Compare how the Tigers are expected to handle this Skubal situation to how the Angels handled the Ohtani situation at the 2023 trade deadline. So he was going to be a free agent. They chose to hold on to him because they were trying to have a postseason push. They were just trailing behind just like the Tigers. They chose to hold on to him. They actually had a deal on the table for Shohei. They said no. They held on to him. He walked in free agency to the Dodgers. They basically got nothing for Shohei Ohtani, which they could have acquired all types of talent and a bunch of things to accelerate the rebuild or whatever they want to do with it, but they chose to do basically what the Tigers are expected to do and hold on to him, hoping to get a deal done. He did not. He walked just like everyone thought he would, and you basically got nothing for him. So if this is the same scenario with Tarik Skubal, like this is franchise. I don't know if I can say the word franchise offing of yourself. Like this is a bad way. This especially for Scott. Like, this is a move you look back on when he's canned.
The
and you're
difference
like,
is, though, with that,
this is one of those
but
this is the difference, though.
The
difference is with Shohei, like, and I don't know fully on the Shohei situation. I don't know if he wanted to be as an Angel for his whole career. We do know Skubal wants to be here. So that's where, like, Scott Harris and them and Chris Ilitch, they do have an option. Again, I know I was mad at Skubal last week. I'm consistent with that. Don't say anything in the media unless you sign an offer sheet or whatever it is. Like, that's it, a contract. But they do have an option. Like, you don't have to let Skubal get to free agency. You could offer him what he wants, and if you truly want him here. But you cannot. You have two. There's two paths. There's not a third path. The third path of people being like, make a run, keep Skubal, let him walk at the end of the year, make a run with it. That's not an option. That road is closed, in my opinion, and it should be. Like Chris Ilitch, it's like driving down a highway. It's like, oh, this lane's closed. Got to get to a different lane. Yeah. That lane is not open, and it should not be open. It should be closed. The only two lanes and exits that should be open right now is you either give that man the extension that he wants and you sign him long term, or you trade him. There should be no other option. And that's where I get a little confused. And I don't know if, honestly, I don't have a pulse on the fan base if the fans are like, oh, we want to make a run with him and let him walk. I don't know. I haven't seen that, but I've seen majority fans being like, hey, either sign them or move on.
And I know we saying it's a fireable offense, which I feel like it is, but at the same time, this might be what Scott Harris wants, because they are about to flip this Tigers roster. In the next coming years, there's going to be some major changes to this Tigers roster, because when you look at it, they haven't signed O'Reilly Green. They did sign Colt Keith very early. Kevin McGonigal has panned out, and you still have a Max Clark, a Brasenio, a Bryce Rayner. You have all these kids that are about to come up and make real contributions to this team going forward. The Tigers roster is not about to look the same in these next coming years. So I think at the end of the day, Scott Harris is willing to live with riding with Skubal to the end and just getting the comp pick, because you're going to get a comp pick from that. If Kevin McGonigal wins Rookie of the Year, you get another comp pick. You have another shot at free agency. They already signed Valdez to a deal. So I think that they are okay living the way that it looks like they are about to live, which is keep Skubal, go to the end, and then if you make the playoffs, great, you'll win a series maybe, and then that's it. Or you won't make the playoffs and it looks even worse, but who knows?
Yeah, and also, like, a couple players you didn't bring up too is, okay, obviously Casey Mize. We've talked about that throughout the week. If you're trading Tarik Skubal, you have to get a contract on Casey Mize, because I personally love the idea of Casey Mize being an ace for this team. I know we have Framber Valdez on a big contract, but I think Casey Mize has ace-type stuff. I think he can be an ace on this staff.
Will they pay him $20 million?
That's what I'm saying. They need to do it if they trade Tarik Skubal. And then another guy, too, I know he's been hurt, but he's on a one-year contract. If he comes back before the trade deadline and plays some decent baseball, I'm curious to see what direction they take with the Gleyber Torres too, because if you keep Gleyber Torres for the remainder of the year, when he's probably not going to be a Tiger next year, considering he's a free agent, do you trade him or do you keep him on the roster too if you think you have a chance to make a playoff push? So that's another name to keep an eye on for trades. Another guy, Kerry Carpenter as well, like a guy they haven't got a contract done with. He could be on the table as well.
Let's talk about that when we come back from break. First, I got to tell you about our friends over at Planet Fitness. So allow me to do that. Like we mentioned yesterday, Planet Fitness is helping out the people with everything going on, the poor air quality, Michigan, Indiana, you got Ontario, Canada. They are allowing people to have free access until Sunday, I believe, to Planet Fitness locations to go on there and work out. And they also have the high school summer pass because it's back and live until August 31st. Teens 14 to 19 can work out at Planet Fitness for free all summer long. A lot of free going on with Planet Fitness. They take care of the people. Register online at planetfitness.com.
You're building a whole combat sports enterprise in the heart of it in Detroit, and that's what I think is the coolest.
I think with opportunity, right? Like you said, maybe you like to punch people in the face for real, and you want to be a boxer, and you have an option there. Maybe you don't like getting punched in the face, and you want to make, you like the theatricals and the storylines, and so you have an avenue here. Maybe you start at one and then want to change to the other. I don't care. I just want you in the building and know that you have some place to go to explore that. Just having the ability to, what do you want to do and how do you want to do it to the best of your ability? And, it all starts with the kids.
Some days call for light, others lean bold. What about everything in between? All Day IPA, the easy choice for every day. Citrusy, crisp, refreshing. Flavor you can float with. Light on the hops, big on refreshment. One's great. Two, even better. Brewed with you in mind. No shortcuts, no fuss. Big on flavor, never too much. All Day IPA. Hop into easy.
Drive Energy pouches give me the energy and clarity to find and beat the shit out of every opportunity that shows its face.
Live and direct, I'm back on set action. Create the wave, we cannonball splash 'em. Light court swinging, get your head chopped. Point blank, dead stop. 16 bars in a headlock.
Drive Energy pouches are for the people who actually want to win, not for the crybabies out there who are happy with a participation award. There's zero sugar, so give Thrive a try.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
All right, this marks the 15th year anniversary for Founders Brewing and the legendary all-day IPA. You see the cans on the screen there. They're citrusy, they're crisp, and they are refreshing with the perfectly balanced taste at 4.7 ABV. It is built to go the entire distance of a game, whether that's the Tigers, Red Wings, whatever you're watching, even football, or if you're out on the golf course. And right now you can get $5 shorts at any Art and Jake's locations in Michigan on Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Go get yourself an all-day IPA, and also please drink responsibly.
We're back. It's crunch time here on Woodward Sports. Hit that like button if you haven't already. It's free, and it takes just a second. It helps us out. We're talking Detroit Tigers, Tarik Skubal, not being traded, according to reports, at the deadline unless something happens drastically, like a season collapse. Maybe that would change things. But as of right now,
imagine they lose like 10 straight.
The way they're playing.
Very Tiger-esque.
How about this? I'll throw something at you real quick.
Yeah,
this is funny.
Here we go.
You want them, and I'm with you, by the way, so we can both answer this question. We want them to be great and win a bunch of games. If it meant keeping Skubal, would you still say yes? And unless they collapse, they'll trade him.
What do you mean by that?
Like, if they keep winning the way they are, like you want and I want, they keep Skubal, or they collapse and they trade him. Would you still say win a bunch of games and make the playoffs?
Well, if they keep winning like they are right now.
That's probably how Scott's approaching it.
If they keep winning how they are right now, you probably actually, and
here's where you're in a
This
pickle.
is where I actually do agree a little bit with KG and Caleb, where they probably won't keep this exact pace up. I think they could keep a pace up to where they can get back in the playoffs and
they can sneak in there.
And sneak in.
Yeah.
The pace that they're at since June 1, guys, they were like, if they were at that pace all season, I think I saw something. There was like over 100 wins. It was like 110. It was like something insane. So if they were at that pace, guess what that means? And again, this is all like hypothetically. If they kept this pace up until or September, October, they're a World Series team. Like they could win a World
Based on
Series.
if they kept winning.
If they stay consistent, because that's how well they're playing. Like that last month and a half, that's like they're one of the best teams in baseball. So if that's the case, then yeah, you probably I'm not gonna. Again, that's such a what if though, because you could keep Skubal and then you end up falling apart and you're like, oh, never should have. That's why I'm at with the let's just get rid of Skubal, because you could fall apart.
And Booner, this is why I get frustrated, because last year we saw the same thing. They were the best team in all of baseball for 3 months. And then after All-Star break, I don't know what the hell happened. You had 6 All-Stars, and then they just turned into the Monstars. I don't know. But everybody, it just failed at the end. And then you end up losing the division. And luckily you did beat the Cleveland Guardians and kind of got that lick back. But it was an epic collapse by the Tigers last year. So
I remember when people in the Guardians situation, you guys remember this? It was like you lose the division and Guardians fan, and then you beat them in the playoffs. Guardians fans were like, at least we won the division. Like, we would rather win the division than win in the playoffs. Like, that was the most idiotic thing I've ever heard in my life. No, I was like, what are you guys talking about? Like, I would rather win the series in the playoffs than win the division. Personally.
Yeah.
You're getting farther in the playoffs, man.
Yeah, this is where I'm in a pickle with it because I want them to win. But if you're giving me those two scenarios.
You're taking the winning with Skubal. You are. If you guaranteed me that this team is winning the way they are through October, then you are keeping Skubal. But you cannot guarantee that.
I don't think it's gonna last, bro.
You know, like that meme with the guy walking by, looking back at the girl or whatever.
You're right.
That's me and you, Boone. I'm looking at KG and Caleb.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, maybe it ain't too bad. If it means trading them, maybe it ain't too bad.
Welcome home, brother.
You know what this all boils down to? Like, just
what's that, Caleb?
Is that none of us, because the right thing, we all agree in this room, no matter what happens, they could win 20 games straight, and we should trade Tarik Skubal, correct?
Yes.
It all boils down to none of us trust Scott Harris at this trade deadline.
Well, no, I don't think anyone in this world besides Chris Ilitch trusts Scott Harris.
There you go.
And
he is the only person on the planet.
That's why I don't want him to trade like Casey Mize. I don't want him to make a bunch of those decisions. I don't know if I trust him enough for all those things. Like, let's just work on the Tarik Skubal thing. Just handle that, and we'll keep it pushing. You know, like I don't want too much on a guy's plate that I can't freaking
The
trust.
last time we had a
ridiculous.
trade this big, we got back what's
Jake
my
Rogers.
man's name?
Jake Rogers is the only one.
Yeah,
we got like a
come on,
whole
man.
package. The only one that worked out was Jake Rogers.
For
For Verlander and like Scherzer were like
I wouldn't even say
guys.
Jake Rogers worked out. I would even use
He just
those
brought
words.
vibes.
Yeah,
He just got
exactly.
his
He's
vibe.
like, you need a vibes guy, but he's great. Can I, Caleb?
He said worked out.
I want to ask you this. I was thinking about this over the break. You might be able to tell me this. What are the chances? And don't take this as a negative way.
Okay.
Put yourself in my shoes where I'm like the person who thinks that they're going to be good and continue to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
Javi Baez and Gleyber Torres.
Are
they going to get back?
Like come back from injury?
Yes.
Yeah, and they make a difference in your lineup. They
So
definitely
does that? So when I sit here and say Bayer, like you can sell Skubal and still buy to try and make the playoffs and make a push. You technically like let's just look at those two as additions at the trade deadline if they come back, and then you go out and still get more. That makes your team better, correct?
It does. Yeah, it does. I mean, Gleyber Torres is a great player. I wouldn't say how needle moving those guys are.
But when you're talking about adding at the trade deadline, you can look at them as like those are two additions to this roster second half of the season. When they already were the best team in the AL since June 1, you're adding in Gleyber Torres and Javi Baez, and then you could argue if Scott Harris, again, don't know how well he does at buying at the deadline. If he buys at the deadline, this team potentially gets significantly better.
Correct to an extent, but Booner, like,
do I have you in a little bit of a blunder here?
No, not really. It's because those guys, like, yeah, Gleyber's a good player, Javi's a good player, but they're not needle moving like.
No, they
players.
are to what you have right now.
Booner is reaching for straws, bro.
Well, like Outman. You're replacing Javi Baez with Outman. Who are you taking? Does that move a needle to you? Outman, Javi Baez.
Shout out Outman.
I'm asking you. This is. Listen, I don't want
I love Javi, bro.
Bias aside, though. Bias aside, though.
Hey,
But what I'm asking, though, bias aside, we could be like, oh, Javi's Javi, but like. He's better. Is it Jake Outman?
No, yes, he's better than Outman.
He is.
But that's a low bar.
Is that a needle moving?
That's
right?
a low bar.
He's saying it's not needle moving.
But
what I'm saying is
no. You know what needle you're moving? You're going.
Sorry. Is that needle moving? Technically, right? Like if on paper,
technically, yes.
You're going from shit to poop.
I love it.
And who will Gleyber be replacing?
Shit to poop is crazy.
It is. Booter, I love you.
Who if Gleyber comes in? Who's out of the lineup?
Well, I mean, he's a righty, so it's like McKinstry. Like,
is that an upgrade?
Yeah, it's not.
So when you say it's not needle moving, you're saying not. I'm just asking, is it a needle moving at all? I'm not saying is it like a whoop, I'm asking, is it just a you move a little bit?
It does. To answer your question, no, it doesn't make your team that much better.
No, he's not. You see what I'm saying here?
He's doing a little dodgy right now.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say this with
he's
Caleb.
Saying, no, it doesn't make your team.
I've learned a lot doing a show with Caleb for a couple years now, and then now full time here.
He's a PR guy.
He is, and Neil actually brought it up when he was filling in for the morning show, and Neil was like asking him questions, and he just kept being like, "Well." He gets around a lot of questions. I've never heard Caleb straight up answer a question. I'll always be like, yes or no question. And then he'll be like, well, can I answer it this way? No, yes or no question. It's like so simple. Does it move the needle? If you replace Outman with Javi Baez, does that move the needle at all? Yes or no?
Well, yeah, but not enough.
No. Yes or no?
Boner,
but there's
man.
a but. But
I'm just asking.
But there is a caveat to it.
The famous.
He can't answer. He can't say yes or no.
Bulldog, bro. Hold on. Let me talk to you. So, all right, you want to essentially trade Tarik Skubal, use the resources that you get from the Skubal trade to go buy, and try to make this team make the playoffs. In which, if they make the playoffs, cool. If they don't, they don't. And then it's over after that. How does that help the team?
What? I don't.
How does that help the team? No, because you're saying that they can still buy while trading Tarik Skubal, right?
You can.
So essentially, you want to take what you get from the Skubal trade to go out and buy for this team that.
No. I'm saying you can use Skubal to go out and get some ready now guys, maybe someone in the bullpen or another starting pitcher that maybe isn't as good as Skubal, but you still add to this rotation.
Yeah, to go to
and
the
then
playoffs.
You can also use other assets that you have, not the ones you use from the Skubal trade, other assets. I'm looking at it like this.
Why would you use more assets when?
Because you're buying.
You're
buying. That's what buying is, using assets to go out and get pieces.
No, I get that part, but I'm saying you got to start worrying. Like the season's almost over. You got to start worrying about life after Tarik Skubal. I just don't think that's smart. You're going to use resources. You do,
but that's why you're getting rid of Tarik Skubal
on a season that you even agreed that this isn't a World Series.
But again,
game.
So to your point, and this is where it's like Caleb's point of like you're either all in or you're all out on the sell. If you're like telling me this, like you have to use resources to go for the look in the future, then you should KG be saying sell everyone. Everyone, we're all out. We're like fresh rebuild.
I have been.
Okay, then you stay there. But what I'm saying here is, which 70% of the people in our poll, I believe, were saying, or 58% is, listen, if you are going to buy, the path of buying is this. One, you are going to upgrade Outman, right? And you're going to get Javi Baez back at some point. And whether you think...
That's not a huge upgrade.
But again, hold on a sec. It's not a huge upgrade. It's a upgrade, right?
Sure.
It's an upgrade. You're moving the needle a little bit at the trade deadline. That's just one piece of this whole thing. Then you're putting back in Glaber Torres, who is an upgrade from a Zach McKinstry.
Yes, he
That's
is.
a second upgrade. So if you add those together, that's a little bit of an upgrade. Then you're going to take Tarik Skubal, and you're going to go out there and get maybe another starting pitcher that can help you out, or a ready now bat, someone else that you can add to this lineup and upgrade a little bit. That's a third piece. And then the fourth piece to it is using some other assets that you have within your organization to go out there and maybe go fill some more voids. Go get some better guys in the bullpen. If you need a starting pitcher, if you need another bat, if you need another utility guy, then you go do that. Those are 4 different ways at the deadline of buying. Because I look at, again, people use this against me all the time with like the lines and stuff when you're getting players back from injuries. That counts as getting guys back and upgrading at that point of the season, correct? So I use all of those different things. Those 4 or 5 different moves, that puts you in a position to catapult yourself to get into the playoffs and make a move. And it doesn't hinder you from looking into the future and helping yourself out in the future, because you still have young guys. And I'm guessing some of these ready now guys you're going to trade with Skubal for or some other pieces for, guess what you're going to probably do with those? Those are probably going to be younger guys as well. They're not going to be 40, 45-year-old guys. Hopefully that's Scott Harris. So that's my point, is like all these different scenarios and these different pieces. And when you guys say, well, Javi's really not helping you. You have to add all these different pieces up and look at it as a whole and be like, at the trade deadline in the next month, this is now what it is. We just upgraded all of these different pieces. We're a better team now, and we already were the best team in the AL since June.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Once again, that's in a perfect world in which, you know, everybody comes back and they still win ball games. They can have all these guys back and still lose games. We've seen it before. We've seen it with these same guys.
You can talk about that. It's the same scenario there. Like, it's the same scenario both ways. Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm laying it out for you, and I can lay everything in the world out for you. But every time, if you're going to be negative and be like, well, this is could happen. Anything could happen. I'm telling you, this is how it could be, though, if you actually want to buy and go about it. Okay. This is the path to do it. You know what I'm saying? You guys see what you guys understand? Is anyone catching what I'm saying
yes,
here?
I understand what you're saying. Let's go to break. We come back. We'll get into this Pistons stuff. A lot of stuff coming out from Hunter Patterson. All this stuff you're going to want to know. Jalen Duren, what happened? Why didn't they get a big-time star? We have the answers for you. But first, I got to tell you about our friends over at Water Hazard. So allow me to do that. Founders, Water Hazard, craft cocktails. Check it out. It's delicious. The very first canned vodka cocktail from Founders. And if you go to Art & Jake's, which I highly suggest you do, it's delicious. I love Art & Jake's. You get $5 cans. On Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays at Art & Jake's locations in Michigan. So go try it for yourself. You can get it on the golf course as well. It's absolutely delicious. And please always remember to drink responsibly.
Dan Campbell is in redemption mode.
No, make no mistake. It's not revenge he's after. It's a reckoning.
And Woodward Sports is here to cheer on the Detroit Lions every snap. Don't miss a moment of Detroit Lions coverage. Follow Woodward Sports on all social media platforms now.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Gibbs, breakout season, loading.
Inside the 5, Gibbs to the end zone, touchdown!
Woodward Sports, the most dominant Detroit sports coverage around.
Let me tell you about our friends over at Yaldo Eye Center. Yaldo Eye Center, the people that you can trust. The professionals you can trust. 30 years of experience, 100,000 procedures. They are the trusted experts. Not Scott Harris at the deadline. Yaldo Eye Center are the trusted experts in the eye game. LASIK eye surgery, completely painless, takes just 8 minutes, and the recovery is so fast, most patients are seeing 20/20 the very next day. Right now, take advantage of their promotion. Just $1,699 per eye, regardless of your prescription. One-time investment that'll save you thousands and thousands of dollars on glasses and contacts. The hassle of both of those. They fix your issues. Wake up with clear vision. Book your consultation with the Yaldo Eye Center today at yaldoeyecenter.com/1699. We're back. It's crunch time here on Woodward Sports. Time to transition into some Detroit Pistons talk. Offseason, Hunter Patterson from The Athletic.
Can I just say something real quick? I'm sorry.
It better be good.
It has to
interrupt.
I just saw a tweet.
Like what is it?
I saw a tweet. Our guy, shout out Ryan Armani.
Hey.
He just tweeted out and he said at 9 a.m. this morning, I just told the guys in the studio that I think the Tigers are going to win the World Series and the Detroit Lions are going to win the Super Bowl this year.
I love Armani, man. Shout out my guy.
Shout out Ryan, dude.
I love Ryan.
I saw the tweet. I saw him the other day. We got to see him at Lomas's outing.
Yeah.
I just saw the tweet and I was like, come on, Armani.
That was my guy, man. Very Armani-esque tweet.
Tigers World Series, Lions Super Bowl.
Yep. We here.
Yeah.
Lions, baby.
Jeff, like, you interrupted me for this.
I had to. I saw that. I had to.
Bad as hell.
I had to.
Anyway, Hunter Patterson from The Athletic covers the Detroit Pistons, came out with an article, massive bomb in Detroit Pistons, I guess offseason news, and he talked about a lot of different topics. Asar Thompson, his contract, what's going on with him, Jalen Duren, what's going on with his contract negotiations, why the Pistons fumbled getting that star player alongside Cade Cunningham, and also Isaiah Stewart, and kind of what's been going on with Isaiah Stewart before he has to exit, which honestly was kind of interesting to note that there was we were quick with the Isaiah Stewart stuff, like, because we're not going to spend a lot of time on it. I mean, we kind of saw, like, in the playoffs, Isaiah Stewart's – so I'll read this, okay? So just so I can give people, like, the actual quote if you haven't read it. So Isaiah Stewart was traded, and Hunter Patterson put a lot of stuff in the article about Isaiah Stewart and kind of what happened with that. And so let me read some of the stuff from that part of it. So essentially in this article, they listed situations with Isaiah Stewart and why essentially there's maybe some disagreements with Isaiah Stewart and the Detroit Pistons coaching staff. So in the playoffs, there were situations, multiple heated moments during the Pistons playoff run with Isaiah Stewart. Now, I'm not trying to say that to say Isaiah is a bad guy, but clearly there was disagreements. Whether it was playing time, taking him out, there was reports of like Jarrett Jack and him having words, Luke Walton trying to calm him down, him having an exchange with him, JB trying to give him a high five, he dissed a high five, just stuff like that with Isaiah towards the end. You could tell he was frustrated because his role shrunk, and Paul Reed started playing a lot of minutes. I'm not sure if Isaiah was injured or not. But they ended up dealing him, and they had a lot of good things to say about him when he left. So I think to me this is nothing. This is like a nothing burger because we kind of know who Isaiah Stewart is, man. Like, he's an intense dude. People love him when he chases LeBron around, but when they see he has heated moments with the coaching staff, people are upset. Like, this is who he is, dude. Like, he's emotional, he's passionate. He's not always going to be, the nicest guy in the world when it comes to, the passion comes with that. So am I surprised to see that there was some back and forth or heated exchanges? No. Do I think it's appropriate? I do not. But to see it's Isaiah Stewart, I'm not surprised. Okay.
Yeah.
And they traded him because of the really mainly the salary, and they freed up cap space, and they save a lot of money with Paul Reed as their backup center. But I thought it was just interesting to kind of hear some of those stuff.
I would have to say I think that though this report that there was probably a little bit more of it was easier for the Pistons to
definitely made it a little easier. Because felt like that was an issue.
Yeah, because I do think it was hard for them. Like I think everyone loved Stu, right? Like, and the one conversation we always had about Beef Stu was like he's the culture guy in that room, in that building, and he's the one that, like, hey, when you talk about the Pistons mentality, Stu was like the start of it, right? And he's the one that brought that. When we talk about Bad Boys Pistons, how it got kind of revitalized, he was the one that kind of restarted that here in Detroit again. And he was the cornerstone of when they talked about being tough. That was him. So I think it was hard as always for fans to always say, hey, let's get rid of Stewart. You would even think inside the organization, internally, that they struggle trying, getting rid of a guy like that to where they felt like he was a massive piece of what they've built. But obviously down the stretch in the playoffs, I think it was very well known, and it's shown that his role kind of diminished a little bit. And he wasn't getting the playing time that probably he thought he needed or wanted. And this is where like these stories come out to where there was probably butting of the heads between him and JB and assistant coaches. And obviously you see the altercations that they talk about. I saw there's actual specific examples of like when it happened. I think one of them was Game 7 with the Cavs. And I could see why Stu. I mean, if you're Isaiah Stewart and you're not getting the run and you're losing by 30 at home and your team's not only just getting outplayed but out-toughed and you're like that guy in the room, I can see why you would have an altercation in Game 7 versus the Cavs with your coaching staff. Yeah. And that might have been the kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, and it made it easier being like, hey, we can get rid of the contract too. So it's like it was just kind of a pile up of things, I think.
I agree with you. I agree with you there. Like the article literally it notes different interactions. So it says here Pistons assistant Jaren Jack and Isaiah Stewart exchange words. Players had to separate the two. Luke Walton tried, correcting some of the behavior from Isaiah Stewart. Stewart brushed him off. It says during the Pistons Game 7 loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers, Stewart was subbed out of the game and was reluctant to give Bickerstaff a high five. So he was just pissed off, probably because his minutes. It's the lowest amount of minutes he's played in his career in the playoffs. It was 11.8 minutes per game.
Yeah, especially he was injured that last playoff series that
for
they
sure.
were in. So yeah, that was a big deal for him, and I think y'all spot on with damn near everything that y'all saying, because B. Stu wasn't like a locker room problem or anything like that.
No.
But I think it's just the timing kind of lined up with the Pistons wanting to move on and upgrade that position as well, because I love Beef Stew, but he did have some limitations, So the fact that you thought like, okay, maybe we could upgrade that position, everything that happened when, high stakes basketball, it gets like that. People get emotional during games, things happen, teammates argue, it's just part of the game. But I mean, everything makes sense, and I do feel ultimately that the Pistons probably made the right move, because those picks ended up being the Isaiah Joe pickup. Yep. So I do think that you made the right move.
And I think Ibuka as well.
Yeah,
and they trade up use some of those picks for Ibuka. So.
Absolutely.
What do you think, Caleb? Beef Stew's gone.
Yeah,
you sad about it?
Well, obviously, yeah, I'm sad. We all like Beef Stew, but I think those interactions and the tension, it kind of sounds like, I don't even want to say tension, but these, the interactions he had with the coaches and everybody I think that's a really small reason on why they traded. Like you guys are saying, I think it was just fit their timeline. You traded them, get rid of $50 million, kind of anticipating a bigger move. You use those picks, you go get Isaiah Joe. And I'm not going to lie, like I just said, like right when we traded Beef Stew, I was expecting a bigger move because you just freed up $50 million. And I think Trajan expected to make a bigger move once they traded Stu. But yeah, I think we all know how Stu is. He's an ultra competitor. Obviously wanted to be on the floor for more than 11 minutes a game during the playoffs. And he's a competitor. That just kind of shows it. Him kind of beefing with JB Bickerstaff, like he wanted to be on the floor more. And but I think that's a really small reason on why they traded him.
I want to get to this Jalen Duren stuff. So the Jalen Duren negotiations, a lot of stuff in here, and it gives more context. We had the conversation yesterday with Jalen Duren. It talks about the Kings offer, the Lakers, what happened there, and what was on the table when the Kings and the Pistons talked. So here's the context. So Hunter writes here, Hunter Patterson from The Athletic, the biggest difference now is that Duren's market is shrinking and further limiting his leverage in negotiations with Detroit. We know that. We talked about it. The market's shrinking. He met with both the Los Angeles Lakers and Sacramento Kings before the Lakers signed center Walker Kessler, though neither exit strategy materialized. The Pistons would prefer to keep Duren rather than cooperate in a sign and trade. We also discussed that. Of course they would. The Kings, for example, were known to be offering big man Domantas Sabonis.
Hey.
And they said no.
Hey.
So they could have had Sabonis, and the Pistons were like, nah.
Now, when I hear that, because we did have this conversation multiple times, because that report, it was one of the biggest reports, we felt like.
It was real.
We were on the golf course when that came out with Neil Rule, and we had the conversation out there at first. I think the reason that they said no to that, this is tinfoil hat Booner. This isn't like, I don't have any sources.
Yeah.
In my mind, they didn't do that because they're like, we want Jalen Duren over Sabonis. Mm-hmm. I think it came down to go look at Sabonis' contract and what they're trying to do with Jalen Duren right now. This goes back to our conversation yesterday too. I think they would rather spend $45 million on a number 2 next to Cade Cunningham than spend $45 million on a big man.
Connect the dots.
Yeah, connect the dots. Like that's what it is. And I think like with Duren, they're obviously trying to get him at 30 to 35, right? Like that's it. What's Sabonis' contract?
He's
45?
45, and he'll make close to 50.
Almost 50.
Yep.
So I don't even think it has to do with, hey, this is the player you're getting. I think anyone in the world, especially if you're trying to win a championship now, would take Sabonis over Jalen Duren right now, just based off of the scoring and the kind of the game that he has, and he's a little more into his career than Duren is. I think it just came down to money. That's what I think it was. I don't think they wanted to pay the number 2 as a big man and pay him almost $50 million.
Yeah, because like I love Domantas Sabonis. He brings a different element offensively, but if you look at Sabonis, like if I'm Trajan, this is how I'm looking at it, all right? Just objectively. So Sabonis is 30. He's set to make 50. He's an expiring deal, so you're going to have to work out a negotiation with then a 31-year-old.
Right.
He's in his career, he's about a 16-point-a-game guy. In his career, he's had years where he's averaged 20, but he's never averaged more than 20 points. So if you trade for him, he's giving you 20 and 12.
And he's had an injury history. Again, he's not getting younger. So those are the things. He played in 15 games this past season. So if I'm Trajan, I'm like, okay, am I going to trade away a 22-year-old center who's third-team All-NBA? Again, I'm just looking at it from his point of view, who we know and we think is getting better, who just averaged 20 and 10 last year, for a guy who's averaging 20 and 10 basically in his best years, who's 30, not getting younger, making almost 50. And an expiring contract. So if I'm looking at it objectively, I think that's the right decision. You know, I like Sabonis, and you're right. Like most GMs would say, he's no doubt a better player.
Yeah.
But that's the GM side of it. It's like I gotta weigh that. Is that the move? Could we trade for Sabonis and then a year he wants money that we don't want to pay him, and now we're in a spot where we have to give Sabonis a bag, or else he walks for nothing and Cade's by himself again. Like, or do we try and work out a deal with Duren and we have him locked up with Cade for the future? He's 22. That's the future. Those two. Like, so I understand it. I know, Caleb, you were another one. You were on my side with the Sabonis. I can't remember.
Didn't want Sabonis.
So yeah. So I mean, it's that's how I think objectively the GM would look at it, and I understand where he's coming from.
Just as a player, like I'm taking Sabonis. It just kind of money doesn't line up. I actually, this report just makes me think that. Like me being like yesterday, like the number 2 scorer next to Cade, I think they would rather just like they were going to offer Austin Reeves a max deal.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't have given it to Sabonis, or they don't want to give it to Jalen Duren. Yeah. That right there, I mean, again, let's connect the dots, guys. Connect the dots. That shows you that they want to spend money with the number 2. Yeah. Like they're willing to spend $40 to $50 million for a guy next to Cade Cunningham, and they don't want it to be a big man. Because remember what we talked about at the beginning of the offseason. You're not going to win a championship paying a center over 25-30% of your salary cap. You won't. It's just like in the NFL. It's just like the quarterback rule that Easy always talks about, the 12 or 13% rule. It's like that with centers. The only outlier we talked about it was Pau Gasol this year with Karl Anthony Towns, and who was the other one? Shaq or something like that. It was like just an insane outlier. So yeah, I think that just proves, like this report with Jalen Duren proves that they are looking kind of for that Austin Reeves, that number 2 next to Cade, or they would have pulled the trigger on the Sabonis thing.
And it just makes sense to what we talked about yesterday, in which this is why this was the number 1 priority for the Pistons in the offseason. Maybe they knew that this negotiation was going to be a little bit harder because we have an idea that Jalen Duren wants all the money. So I think when you think about that, it kind of makes sense as to how things have played out to this point. The Pistons wanted to get this done, but they wanted to get it done at the number they wanted the whole time. They knew Jalen Duren was probably going to want a little bit more than what they were willing to go, and thus you got the offseason that you got in terms of that. So
yeah, and I think that the sign and trade route, although on paper it sounds great, like, oh, if we're not going to keep him, just sign and trade him. But when you see the only teams was the Lakers, the Kings that were the most aggressive, and the Lakers got Walker, it just leaves the Kings, and Trajan might not want anything from the Kings.
Right.
So that kills that. So, like, although the sign and trade usually is a good thing to do when you're like, well, future with this guy's kind of weird. You know, he doesn't want to be here, but we should still go get something for him. We can't just let him walk or whatever in free agency next year if he takes the QO. Clearly, like, if it's just Sabonis or no sign and trade, he's like, I'm good, you know, at that point. So there's the explanation to why he wasn't traded. There is, and it does say in here, what you alluded to yesterday. You read the report here. We talked about it, that the number one offseason priority for the team was to come to an agreement with Duren. A league source from Hunter Patterson says the negotiations are still in progress. The team is confident the deal will get done. And then it mentions here the qualifying offer, $9.6 million for that qualifying offer, and then you hit unrestricted free agency, which I've already talked about yesterday. That would be idiotic for him to take that. So I do not think that would happen. So all signs basically point to him basically returning on a deal. I just think it comes down to the simple fact of Trajan, how he handled it was great, because he essentially told Duren, like, hey, bro, we love you. If you think you can get more, go get it. And no team was willing to offer.
He swung and missed. He struck out.
And he struck out. Now he's the leverage.
Javi
We've
buys
been
that
consistent
thing,
on
man.
this show. We've talked about the Pistons have the leverage, and now here we are, July 17th, and Jalen Duren's back is against the wall at about 30-ish million.
Yeah.
And in his market, when the first came out, 45, 50, or whatever the max you can get in restricted free agency was like in the 40s. He ain't getting that. Okay, so he's going to be around the 30 number that the Pistons originally wanted. So in the long term, like, the war was won, and will be won by the Detroit Pistons and Trajan Langdon.
It's a good move by Trajan.
It's crazy
1
that
point for Trajan.
They're gonna
one
get
point.
they potentially get Jalen Duren cheaper than Walker Kessler. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane after coming off an All NBA season.
Yeah.
That's why you do have to tip the hat to him for that doing it that way.
Yeah, and I respect the fact that Trajan, and again, this is me, that tinfoil hat. I don't have sources to indicate this, but it also shows that Trajan values postseason performance.
He does.
He values that because Trajan is a former player, and if you talk to anyone, we could talk Lindsey Hunter. We love him. That's a guy you pick a brain for anything basketball related, NBA related. He'll say it himself, man, like, how you perform in the postseason is how you get paid. That is how people and GMs should look at it, right? If you're a great player and you don't perform in the playoffs, that price tag goes down because the regular season, it's a long regular season. A lot of NBA fans like myself, you pick and choose. I tune into every Pistons game, but you're not watching all these regular season games. When the postseason comes on, everybody's tuned in and locked in.
Yeah.
And when you shit the bed like Jalen Duren did, unfortunately, your price tag decreases, okay? You can still use the All-Star and the All-NBA argument, but Trajan has the trump card. He can be like, postseason numbers. There you go.
Yeah.
You tell me why you average 10 points in the playoffs, bro.
Yeah, and other teams will do the same thing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like the Kings and like the Lakers, they all do the same exact thing. Like, hey, we got to commit to you long term. If we're going to do that, like there is a concern of this, right? So
that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Now we can. I do want to get into the free agency stuff because this is a big one. This is a good topic. We probably should go to break here. Then when we come back, we'll talk about all the deals that Trajan swung and missed on and why they swung and missed on. There's a reason, and this conversation is going to be great. But before we do that, what do we got next?
I believe we have Mortgage Pros.
Let me tell you guys about Mortgage Pros. If you're looking for a career upgrade like Jalen Duren potentially, check out Mortgage Pros, the #1 mortgage broker to work for in the entire state of Michigan. We got to see their incredible company culture at their first annual block party, and with 4.9 stars on Google and over 4,000 reviews, their reputation, it speaks for itself. So if you are looking for a new job today, give Mortgage Pros a call in Troy at 248-416-1361. It's Mortgage Pros. Let the pros handle it.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Finally, life-enhancing LASIK surgery at a price you can afford. Michigan's most experienced eye surgeon, Dr. Yaldo, is offering the most advanced LASIK at just $1,699 per eye, regardless of your prescription. Imagine not just being free from contacts and glasses, but actually seeing better without them. This limited 2026 spring offer is thousands less than others charge. Go to YaldoEyeCenter.com for your free evaluation and save.
Neil Rule and Sean Belizian wake you up every Monday through Friday on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. That's right, Big D Energy has moved to mornings. Get your morning dose of Neil's tone and Sean's insanity. Weekdays 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Two Detroit sports legends coming together for the best Detroit sports morning show there is. Big D Energy, waking you up weekdays on Detroit's #1 sports network.
Let me tell you about the best deep dish pizza around. That is Buddy's Pizza. Their menu is packed with fan favorites, including their award-winning pizza, signature salads, home-style pastas, and more. Save 20% on your next catering order if you use code Woodward20. Visit Buddy'sPizza.com/catering to view their complete menu and place your order today.
We're back. It's crunch time here on Woodward Sports. We appreciate you tuning in. Hit that like button. I want to get to some of these super chats. I appreciate the patience with these. Michael, if Harris doesn't want to make a move, what do you feel should happen? I say he should be fired.
All right. Good luck with that
It's
one.
not even just making a move; it's picking a direction. That's
fair.
Yeah.
Dante, appreciate the tip.
Yeah.
Nope.
And you know what it is? Every GM in this town pick a direction.
That's
Yeah,
it.
right.
That's it, Michael.
Pick a
a
path, man.
direction.
No more lateral.
Dante, appreciate
go
the
left or
two.
right.
He says, Booner, El Mago or Parker, I'm washed Meadows.
Again, it's an upgrade. Whoever comes back, it's an upgrade from what you have now.
I love Booter.
It's an upgrade.
It's an upgrade.
Now it depends on the percentage of the upgrade. That's a different conversation we can have. But the needle moves. It does move.
Dante, appreciate the 5. He says an opponent saw him as a target, talking about Isaiah Stewart, to get a technical foul on Beef Stew during the regular season. Also, him getting suspended didn't help much. Yeah, well, it comes with it. Michael Weary, appreciate the 2. He says, I read a sign and trade for Embiid. Your thoughts? I don't know.
Sign and trade for Embiid. I did not see that. I don't know
I didn't
about
see that either, but
I'm always out on him, though.
yeah, that's
I'm not an Embiid guy.
That's fair. Appreciate the super chats, guys. We'll read those. Sorry, we let them slip, but we're gonna hit them. If you donate, we'll read them. Let's get to this big part of the Hunter Patterson article. So the question was, did the Pistons pursue any big-name players, right? That's the conversation we had this offseason. We talked about it yesterday. All the names that were available. I'll run through them. Kawhi Leonard, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Trey Murphy. So those are Austin Reeves is another one. Hunter put a lot of context in this to kind of why some of those deals fell through. So just to kind of start with, I want to quickly run through the Austin Reeves one. So the Pistons were reportedly, this is what he writes, very interested in having Austin Reeves join Cade Cunningham in the backcourt, which prompted the Lakers to then reach an agreement with Reeves. So I said it yesterday. That's where I'm like, what are you going to do? You know, he went back to L.A., wants to play with the Lakers. So he tried to get Austin Reeves. But here's the thing that I thought was very interesting about this article. This is where the conversation starts, okay? The Pistons were engaged in several discussions, but nothing came to fruition. Langdon has described Detroit as exploring every option entering the offseason. According to sources, asking prices were too high, with certain star players on the market having the value of young talent, 3 first-round picks, and multiple pick swaps. Whether it was Kyrie Irving, Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, or Trey Murphy, the Pistons couldn't rationalize jeopardizing their future to make a win-now move in a shortened window. And he also puts, that's not to say that Detroit is done making deals, but the Pistons are pleased with the amount of shooting they've brought in with Isaiah Joe, Taurean Prince, John Collins, Gary Harris. While Detroit has yet to make a big-name signing, depending how you view Collins, the organization is confident in the moves they've made this summer. So they weren't willing to give up.
Does anyone want to say anything to me after yesterday?
Picks.
What do you mean to you?
You're right.
I'm on your side.
I was just saying yesterday, I said, hey, you have opportunities to do it. And he goes, well, it didn't happen. Trajan couldn't do it. Trajan, sorry about that. I'll get his name right. Trajan Langdon couldn't do it. These players backed out. These teams backed out.
ISO, bro. You got it, bro. Go
I've been
ahead.
lockstep with you on that.
No, let him go. Let him go.
The Detroit Pistons and Trajan Langdon had every single opportunity to make this a championship team. It's been reported. They had offers on the table. They could have made the move. And just like I've been saying, at some point, if you want to put your nuts on the table to win a championship in this town, you have to be willing to pull the trigger and make those moves. If you want to look at your future, awesome. You know who we hear about the future from? Scott Harris, Steve Yzerman, Brad Holmes, and Trajan. I thought this offseason we entered this. Did we not enter this offseason, guys, thinking the Detroit Pistons had the most hope and the most opportunity to become the first championship team in this city in years, 20-plus years. And everyone was like, do everything you can to go get that done. And he had the opportunities. 3 firsts, pick swaps, Ron Holland, whatever it takes. You go get Cade Cunningham, Trey Murphy. You get him your number 2. You had the opportunity. I do not want to hear moving forward, he tried. He had his opportunities. Other people didn't want to make the... No, it was on the table. The deals were there. At some point, if you're the Detroit Pistons, you have to be able to say, let's pull the trigger. Let's go try and win a championship in the next 2 years. It's time. And you said, and you know what the worst part about all this is, guys? If I'm just being dead honest with you, you went into this offseason by getting rid of Isaiah Stewart, clearing cap space, and setting yourself up to make the big move, and you had the big moves available, and you just said, I'm good. We're good. We're giving up too much. Why did you open the cap space and why did you clear all this up to go make those moves? And then you're just going to, in a month later, switch sides and say, hey, we're more so about the future. Sorry. That's idiotic. It is. And I was on Trajan's side. I went into this offseason, and Caleb, I was against you, saying, hey, he's doing a great job. But the number one thing that I always said is you have to go get a dude. You have to get Kyrie, Kevin Durant, Trey Murphy. You have to go get a dude. And if there was offers on the table, guys, this is disappointing to hear. I'm just being honest with you.
Are you out on Trajan?
This year I am. And I'll say it straight up. Detroit Pistons aren't winning a championship this year. And this was the offseason you were supposed to make that jump to go do it. I do not care about making the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't care about just getting out of that second round. You were supposed to be in the championship conversation this year. That you just won 60 games and you got bounced in Game 7. The conversation and the whole fan base was to go win a championship. Put yourself in position next year to compete for one. You're not doing that with the roster at hand. You're not. Are you going to be in the second round? Probably. You're not getting to the finals. You didn't make that move. Now, if they make that move and Trajan proves me, that's all I've been asking for. But as of right now, that's disappointing, man. You do not clear all of that cap space up and do all of that, set yourself up for a move, and then you just decide, no, we just don't want to do it. A couple first rounds is too much. What, 28th overall pick is too much to go try and win a championship? It's arrogance at that point. I can't. You can't lead someone to. You can lead them to water, can't make them drink.
Well, that's where I'll break bread with you because I've been defending Trajan Langdon with this whole offseason discussion about finding a star player. And again, I don't know what player commanded this type of haul. Maybe it's Trey Murphy. Maybe it's Kevin Durant. I don't know. But what I will say, one question I would love the answer to is, what's the young talent they wanted? Because if it was Ron Holland, there's no question you make that deal. If it was Asar Thompson, maybe there's more hesitancy to get that deal done. So I understand that. But what I will say, is it disappointing? Yes, it is disappointing because, and this is where I'll break bread with you. They were the storyline entering the offseason. They were the team that had all the cap space, the assets, and to be honest, this is where the term we don't want to sacrifice the future kind of frustrates me because you have the future. You have Cade. You have Duren. You have Asar Thompson. That's your future. Abuka Corey, they still made that pick, and I think he's a big part of the future. You're not going to really care about these late first-round picks to go out, to be honest with you, going on in the future.
Even the swaps, who cares?
You're not going to care about those picks, bro. You're not. You have your foundation already. It's about now adding around that foundation, and is the shooting helpful? Absolutely. They added shooting this offseason. I love it. They added guys that will contribute and help them space the floor, no doubt. What they missed, though, is finding another scorer. And if the price was the price, other teams found ways to get Jalen Brown done, even though we understand that it was too much money. He was going to command to come to the Pistons or Austin Reeves. I understand you're trying to get him because it wouldn't have costed you picks to get Austin Reeves. I understand that. But to get a Trey Murphy and it is multiple picks and maybe a Ron Holland or whatever, that's where I'll break bread with you. That is disappointing. Because you would have dramatically raised the ceiling of this club with that move. My biggest point I want to hammer is again, sacrificing the future. You have the future with the players you have right now, all young, all ascending. Duren expected to get paid. Asar's going to get paid. You have these guys that are here. Now, if you want to talk about, if you trade for one of these guys that are making a lot of money, maybe that sacrifices, the ability to pay an Asar Thompson or whatever the case may be. Okay, fine. I understand that. But this is the opportunity. This was a clear opportunity for Trajan to separate himself among other GMs in this town when it comes to protecting the future. We want to have sustained success, and he chose to fall in line with the others.
Yes,
that's where I understand the disappointment. I understand.
This was the conversation when this offseason started, and we all talked about the Brian Windhorst saying this Pistons have they control everything. What did I say, Jeff? I said right now Trajan Langdon is the best GM in Detroit because he just set himself up to enter this offseason and make a splash and win a championship.
Everyone was saying it.
That was the number one thing. And the only thing that we said was just we love the fact that he's not planning for the future all the way down the line. That he is more so in the present and hey, we have our core. We have an opportunity to go win with these guys now. And he's done the opposite of that. And based off these reports, and people are I see in the chat already, people are you can't force players to come here. Guys, the trade was on the table. There was trades on the table. And I get if you guys don't want to get up a million things, but what did the New York Knicks do in the last 3 years? They traded so many assets to build a championship team. You don't even have to trade 5 first-round picks like they did for Mikal Bridges. We're talking about one player that's probably your 8th guy on your team in Ron Holland, 3 firsts, and maybe a couple pick swaps, so you still have your first rounds in those years. That's not crazy. It's not. It really isn't. Even if they were like, and I said it yesterday, 4 firsts for Trey Murphy. At some point, you have to put your nuts on the table, and if you want to win a championship, you have to be willing to do that. It's like Rudy Gobert going for $1 billion first-round picks. These teams are trying to make moves to win championships. The Knicks just did it. They legit just did that. So at some point, if you're in this city, you have to be able to be willing to make that move and not be so scared. Because I think so many GMs and people are scared. Like, it's that thing with like Brad where people talk about he makes moves now so he can keep his job for the next 5-6 years instead of actually trying to win. And he's like, how can I keep my job as long as possible and have that sustained job here in Detroit as a GM in the NFL? Instead of being like, I'm putting my nuts on the table, let's go on and win this thing.
Yeah, in sports, we know this across all sports. Fortune favors the bold. It does. And I'm not saying you got to be irresponsible and stupid, okay? You can do both. I think people get lost in this sentiment about like going all in. It's like, well, you're just trading away. No, you can do both. You can build a foundation. This is what I clamored for Brad to do when everyone was on rookie deals with the Lions. You had a foundation of players that were cheap. Go all in while they're young, while they're cheap. Now that everyone's expensive, you're limited. You can't do that. That's why the 2023 season for me, after they made the NFC Championship game, I'm pounding the table. The time is now. The window's open. And we can get the debate, is the window closed? The window was wide open when everyone was cheap. Goff wasn't making the money he was making yet. He's still making $30 million, and he chose to stay put, extend all these guys. Now you don't have any money or really any money to work with, so it's harder to get a deal done. Trajan right now is at this point where you just came off an upsetting Game 7 loss, a disgusting loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers. You saw clear holes in your team, and shooting was one of them. He addressed that. I get that. John Collins, I love having John Collins here. I think that's an upgrade. The biggest thing, though, and you hit on this, and I'm not going to argue with you about it, finding another scorer. You need another guy that can get a bucket. That was no question. And all these guys that were available, they're guys that can get a bucket. Now, if it's Trey Murphy, there's a lot of reasons why I would love that trade. If you got Trey Murphy and you didn't have a pick for, let's just say hypothetically it is the next 6 years or 3 years and then 3 swaps, and you had to give up Ron Holland or whatever the case may be, and maybe Duncan Robinson, you throw in another asset, I think everyone in this town, especially the next 3 years, I'll just watch Trey Murphy highlights. I do not care about not picking in the late first round.
If you go into the next 3 years, again, and I don't mean to go back to yesterday's conversation, but this is what I'm talking about with the number one priority this offseason. If he would have just looked at this offseason and said that number 2 next to Cade is it's like on that draft day movie, like this player no matter what. If he went to this offseason, his number 1 priority was score next to Cade Cunningham no matter what, I bet you he accepts that trade. But the fact that in his mind, in this article it says his number 1 priority was Jalen Duren, guys, it's keep Jalen Duren here no matter what. We're not doing signing trades. We're not doing this. We're keeping him here no matter what. That's why I'm like, hey, front burner, it should have been get that Trey Murphy. And as soon as that offer comes in, accepted, good to go. All right, now let's get this Jalen Duren thing out of the way. You guys see what I'm saying? Like, that was my point yesterday where it was like, this should have been done no matter what. If there was a trade on the table for Trey Murphy and they just said no because of the future, it should have been done no matter what. That should have been the number 1 thing, especially as soon as you trade Isaiah Stewart and it opens up all this money for Trey Murphy. Now you look, in my opinion, you kind of look like an idiot a little bit that you just opened up $30+ million for Trey Murphy and you didn't even go get him and you declined the offer, if that's true.
Yeah, because you guys know this. You guys know this, right?
Idiot, but I get it.
You guys
open the money up for him.
But you guys understand this too, right? Like I and Cade, my favorite player, all of our favorite player. We love watching him. He's a franchise player. But you guys know how the NBA works, man. It's a star-driven league, and as a general manager, you have to build sustained success. That's what they all say. Build sustained success. Make the right decisions. Don't put your franchise in jeopardy. But the biggest thing an NBA GM has to do is sell the future to your star player. You have to sell the future to him because guess what the NBA does, or a lot of players in the NBA do? They move. They request trades. They move all around. So for Cade, he signed a contract. He's going to be here. But the whole point of this thing from Trajan Langton's perspective is I got to sell to Cade that you're going to win in Detroit, right? Yeah. You got to sell to him you're going to win here. We're going to make sure you have the best chance to win an NBA championship, yes or no, right? Because if not, right now it's all fine. But years down the line when Cade's 28, 29, and he's thinking, shit, I'm not winning here. Can you blame a guy for getting to a point with a franchise where he's like, I want out?
Let me ask
I
you
wanna
this,
be
though.
traded.
Do you guys-
Not saying that's going to happen, but that's got to be in the back of your mind as a GM always when you have a player like Cade with this franchise. I know it's hard to get people here in free agency, but through trade, you got to think about this stuff.
Yeah, can I ask, and Caleb, can you put this poll up? Because I want to see where the people are with this, and I'll ask you guys in the room.
Yeah.
Can the Detroit Pistons win a championship with Cade, Ausar, and Jalen Duren as your 1, 2, 3 ever in the future in this league? Yes or no? And Caleb, I want you to put that, because essentially, like, when you do open up all this space and you realize this is the offseason to make that move, and you don't do it, and you say, hey, I'm going for the future, you know what that tells me as a fan base, and to your point, Jeff, kind of tells Cade Cunningham, that's your trio. That's it.
He did say that from the start of the offseason. This is the core.
But then his actions don't support that, because he said that. I remember having the conversation with Kool-Aid, like, hey, he said this is our core three, right? Like, he said that. But the actions after that are the opposite, to where he gets rid of Stu, he opens up all this money. They were about to offer Austin Reeves a max deal to be your number 2. So was that really your core 3? I don't know, because now
how does that disprove that's the core 3?
Because they were offering Austin Reeves to be the number 2, which would turn into
but
that core just
that
changed.
don't change the core. That's just we're adding
if Austin Reeves comes in, that core changes. It's now Cade and Austin Reeves.
Well, how I interpret it is this is the core 3. We're going to build around these guys. Just like the Celtics. Celtics did it. They said, this is our core years ago. Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. What did they do? Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
Porzingis. Different guys that can help them out. And right now with this Pistons team, like, they don't have a Drew Holiday. They don't have a Porzingis. Like, these moves, and that's why they ended up winning an NBA championship. They made a finals before that. You can say it's your core 3. You still have to add talent. Like, that's why I do think he meant it. Like, this is our core 3, but we're going to add an Austin Reeves. We're going to try and add a Trey Murphy.
Maybe that's what it was. But then
they just haven't done it.
But if you're going to open, again, I'm going to keep going back to this. If you're going to open up all this space and all this cap and all this to do it, and everyone in the world looks at it and goes, oh, the Pistons are the number 1 team in free agency in the trade market, you got to make the move. Like that, because you might not have this opportunity again. You have an opportunity to go out there and pounce on it and go win a championship, or even at least give yourself a chance, and you turned your back and walked away from it. And then if someone's like, why'd you do that? Man, like, I'm just not ready for it yet. No, it's not if you're ready for it. The franchise is ready for it. You set the franchise up to be ready for it.
This is exactly what I've been saying for the past 2 weeks. Nothing else is going to happen, and this is a failure of an offseason by Trajan.
He returned.
This is exactly what I've been fucking
The
saying.
Undertaker.
And now when I put that video out on Twitter, when I was on the desk saying all this stuff, and everybody in the chat saying this and no, it's not, no, it's not, no, it's not. How do you feel now? How do you feel now that this is the realization that we're not getting anybody else? This is our roster. This is a totally disservice, like Jeff brought up. This is a disservice to Cade Cunningham, who is a top 5 player in the NBA. And to answer your question, Boone, can you win a championship with this top 3? No, you can't, because the player in Jalen Duren, who essentially now is your number 2 option, the Pistons don't even want to give him $32, $31 million, and that's who our number 2 option is. Trajan Langdon went into this offseason with pocket aces, and he folded them. He went into the offseason with a ton of money, a place where players wanted to play because of Cade Cunningham, and a rising city in Detroit, and he just folded it, said, I don't want to win this hand. That's what he did this offseason, and it is incredibly, incredibly frustrating. And KG, I know you think marginally this team got better because of the shooting, but there's no offensive relief for Cade Cunningham. It's going to be the same shit in years past, and he's following the same path as all of the other Detroit GMs, and it is just unacceptable, in my opinion. It's unacceptable.
I mean, listen, y'all going to be mad at me. Y'all going to crap on my argument. I do want to start off with, I think y'all are making valid points.
Yeah.
And I was, once again, somebody even before the playoffs last year saying, hey, that secondary scorer is going to get exposed in the playoffs, and it played out almost immediately. But, I mean, it's just one of those things in where, like, I do get the fact that a lot of us felt like this was the offseason to make the move, correct? You had some things lined up in place in terms of money. You had tradable assets, all of these things. And, I don't think it's as bad as people are making it out to be. Failure of an offseason, I think, is a stretch, just based on the fact that I do understand, the money is going to be there. Maybe, and I do think that arguing this without knowing the player that they were targeting is a huge part of this, because the player and the contract that they would be taking on or possibly having to sign, that is a big part of that. So I hate even arguing this without knowing the player that they're going after. But if we're just talking about secondary scoring, yes, that was the 1A problem for this team. I acknowledge that. But I think we are sleeping on the fact that the 1B problem for this team was the fact that you could not shoot. They got to the damn near to the Eastern Conference Finals without being able to shoot. So I do think that the moves that you were able to make were enough to, all right, let's take a spin. We can get to the Eastern Conference Finals and kind of see where the chips fall. In a lot of ways, I feel like this is the argument that y'all have for the Tigers, but we won't at the same time apply it to the Pistons, who are in a better position, who are very, very still early in this process. I know the timeline has accelerated, but at the same time, I like the fact that Trajan is kind of being smart about this. And to be honest, he's been the most intentional out of all of the GMs in this town. We all saw the needs of this team, and he attacked those needs immediately. It wasn't, okay, let's wait a year. Oh, maybe we can just get the injured guy and try to supplement that position with that. No, he was very intentional, and we're going to get this Jalen Duren deal done. We're going to fix the shooting, and we're going to get our second scorer. Unfortunately, the second scorer didn't fall through, and I know it was by choice, or it seems to be by choice, but I do think the player matters, and I also feel like there will be other opportunities. I'm not one of those people that subscribes to, oh, this is his only shot at this. Oh, there's only going to be one opportunity. There's an off season every season. There's a trade deadline every year. And I do feel good with Trajan. I feel like the Pistons are in good hands. And I will feel more like you guys if he doesn't get it done within the next 2 to 3 years. But as of right now, with what he's done to this point and seeing how everything plays out, I'm willing to go into the season with this and just see what happens. Maybe you do get a move at the deadline. Maybe something does happen. But as of right now, he improved the team, and that's why I continue to let that be my argument. He improved the team, and let's just kind of see what we have, assuming Cade and the rest of these guys improve.
So I think we can all kumbaya with this, okay? Because, KG, what you're saying about Trajan is not wrong. I think he's the most intentional. He addressed a lot of the needs. We've been saying this about Brad sometimes. Like, there'll be need at cornerback, and he won't touch it for like 3 years. So I understand the argument. This is where I think we can do the best display so everyone can kumbaya, all right? So if right here is like everything is hit in the offseason, shooting, another scorer, freed up, all that stuff is here. He just got here. Yeah. He just didn't. He didn't get the A.
And that's
for me.
fair. And that's fair.
The A for me is what we talk about. The A is finding another co-star or another scoring option. The shooting, spot on. He had to do that.
This is why, though, that's disappointing. Is because we were led to believe that was going to happen.
That was the feeling.
And next level to that, like the conversation yesterday, we didn't know yesterday when we were all yelling at each other yesterday. Yesterday it was like, well, he tried. No one else wanted to do it. We have the reports today
that he didn't want to do it.
He didn't want to do
he
it.
Didn't pull the
so
trigger.
I think it's a little double whammy of one. We were led to the expectation that there was going to be – because we all can admit the number one thing this offseason, shooting was there, but it wasn't number one. Number one was getting Cade Cunningham his basically Robin.
Yeah.
Right? Get Batman his Robin. That was always the number one thing this offseason. And we were led to believe that and he told us, Trajan told us that he wanted to do that. He was going to do it. And he opened up all the cap space to do it and all the money to do it. And then all of a sudden – he has the opportunity to do it, and he turns his back and backs out from the reports. That's where I think you could say it's disappointing.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean just because I say the offseason in that sense is disappointing, I'm not saying that they didn't get better because I've been on your side. I think the shooting, I still do think they got marginally better. I was expecting, based off getting Cade at number 2, that they were going to turn into a contender to go out to the finals next year. They're not doing that. They just won't. And I think we can all look at the roster and really compare. Jeff, you posted on Woodward and Crunch Time yesterday the roster, the starting lineup for the Pistons, and what that roster looks like. And like, I don't think anyone can look at that and be like, man, this team can go win a championship or make the NBA Finals next year. I don't think anyone can. And if you do say that, then you're not serious about this, right? Like, you're not serious about winning. That's the disappointing side of it because the opportunity did approach and he declined it.
Well,
That's the issue.
Let's go to break. We come back. I do want to bring that graphic up. Let's talk about that roster because if you guys haven't seen the graphic, you're going to want to see this. You mentioned Woodward Sports. You'll receive up to $500. Yes, $500 off your appraisal. Just score the deal. Call the numbers on your screen. Talk to Chad and Chris with their 97% customer satisfaction score at Supreme Lending today.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your number one online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Thrive Energy pouches give me the energy and clarity to find and beat the shit out of every opportunity that shows its face.
Live and direct, I'm back on set action. Create the wave, we cannonball splash 'em. Mic cord swinging, get your head chopped. Point blank, dead stop. 16 bars in a headlock.
Thrive Energy pouches are for the people who actually want to win, not for the crybabies out there who are happy with a participation award. There's zero sugar, so give Thrive a try.
Go.
Dan Campbell is in redemption mode.
No, make no mistake. It's not revenge he's after. It's a reckoning.
And Woodward Sports is here to cheer on the Detroit Lions every snap. Don't miss a moment of Detroit Lions coverage. Follow Woodward Sports on all social media platforms now.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Mad Packs fans, listen up, man, because they have got you covered with some great products for the rest of the summer that'll get you right and feeling good. And they are the Boom Shakalaka 200 milligram hash rosin gummies and the Hilo 200 milligram live resin gummies. And they also have the Mad Packs extracts and Blizzard packs, the perfect additions for your summer plans. So listen, you can learn more by going to getmadpacks.com. Mad flavor, mad high, Mad Packs.
And let me tell you guys about Art and Jake's Tigers baseball, man. We are actually heading back to Art and Jake's at Shelby Township for the Detroit Tigers watch party.
Yeah.
Come hang out with the crews. We will be live Wednesday, July 22nd at 8 p.m. as the Detroit Tigers take on the Chicago Cubs. You won't miss a single pitch with 80 wall-to-wall TVs, 22 draft beers on tap, and they do have an incredible menu with different fan favorites. Come party with us, grab a Founders, and watch the Tigers take down the Chicago Cubs. Art and Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
We're back. It's Crunch Time on Woodward Sports. Talking Detroit Pistons. Have more to get to. DeMar DeRozan. We will get to that. Before, I do want to read the super chat from Jay Hart. Trajan didn't want to pull the trigger because they wanted Asar and not Ron. He don't care about them picks. Teams don't want our 8th best player, Booner. I'll say this. If it was Asar, I would have said no.
No, if it was Asar, but, like, people don't want our 8th best player. Guys, Ron Holland, like, it's rumored that he was, like, that was fine. Like, a team would take Ron Holland.
That's where KG's point, like, and I brought this up too, like, we can all agree, like, since we don't know what's the young talent, I would love to know who it was, because if it's Asar, I get it. He's a defensive player of the year candidate. Like that, and 6 picks, like, all right, I get that. But if it's Ron and picks, that's a completely different
You
scenario.
could do the same thing on both sides. You could be like, well, it was Asar, but maybe it was Ron.
We don't know. We don't know.
We don't know. Yeah.
If it was Asar, I'll break bread with you, Jay Hart.
I will too. Know that or the player they're targeting. I think that's a huge.
And we don't exactly.
I as well would. Like, if it was Asar, I'm out on it. But again, if you could find a deal, like, dude, I don't know if you guys are on this, but if I had to add an extra first round, I would. Like, it
depends on who it is, though. But
yeah.
I agree.
But even with Trey Murphy, it's like, dude, if you just for the next 3 years at $30 million, you would add, like, dude, you'd have 4. I mean, Mikal Bridges went for 5, and he is just like their 4th option in the Knicks.
Yeah.
Trey Murphy would be your number 2 for the next 3 years, and you would pair him with Cade Cunningham. You would give up 4. Give an extra up.
Yeah.
Like, that's my whole point with this today and yesterday. It's like, dude, I'm willing to pull the trigger. if I need to add an extra first. And I don't believe the reports that the Pelicans were sitting there like, oh, Trey Murphy was never available. No, he was available. They just offered, the price it just didn't work out. And then after the fact, guess what they're trying to do, guys? We're all in this industry, right? They're trying to save face to make it, mend bridges with Trey Murphy.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like, he was on the table.
Caleb, bring up that graphic. So here's the projected lineup for the this upcoming season. You tell me right now, chat, okay? Put a poll up in the chat for this one. You feel confident in this lineup? That's it.
Oh, my gosh.
Just confidence. You got Cade Cunningham, Duncan Robinson, Asar Thompson, John Collins, Jalen Duren. Expected he signs, which he most likely will. Backup point guard, Corey Jenkins. Backup 2 guard, you got Isaiah Joe, Kevin Huerter. You got Javonte Green as a backup forward. Ron Holland and also Taurean Prince as backup forwards. And then Reed and Tolu Smith.
Damn, no Gary Harris, huh? No,
they did my guy Dirk. Yeah, Gary Harris didn't make the cut.
Gary Harris.
Rats.
Gary Harris did not make the cut.
Is that a championship team, guys? Like, can you see them holding a championship?
No, I don't
is that
think
a finals
that's a
team?
I think they can make an Eastern Conference Finals.
But is that a finals team?
No.
That's the issue.
No, and I get understandable.
Like, because...
But people didn't think the Pistons were a 60-win Eastern, damn near to the Eastern Conference Finals team last year.
And I'll tell you what, I'll give you the you want the path? I'll give you the path. You want to be a championship contender? Asar Thompson's got to turn into freaking like Kawhi Leonard. I mean, that's what it is.
Bro.
He has to turn into he has to grow his game offensively significantly.
Even K can take a jump.
Significantly. Yeah, he can. And Jalen Duren, you hope he does. But here's the thing about that. It's hard to sell that to fans.
No, I hear
it is. And that's where, KG, you know how it is. You've talked,
sure.
you cover the Pistons for a while. You know how it is. We've done it every single year. It's hard to sell that to fans. To be like, hey, bro, Jalen Duren. Jump. Asar, jump. Ron Holland, jump.
You guys know how I feel about that.
Yeah,
right,
I get it. Like
I do. I get both sides.
I do as well. Like I can say with, and I can do the Caleb. I can say but. I can hit the butt with it.
Yes.
You
can hit the butt.
I can hit. I can hit. I can say, hey, they got young talent. They're all ascending, but it's hard to sell that to fans, Caleb.
Yeah. You smacked the butt there. KG, how do you feel when Scott Harris says this to us about the internal development? Do you like it or do you not like it?
Not at all. But Scott Harris is a little different because there was a clear need that, okay, we need to help this Tigers offense. And there was just a disregard of that up until the point you added Kevin McGonigal, who is a rookie, by the way, albeit he seems to be great. He seems to be like he's going to work out. But you put all that faith in a rookie, and your next big acquisition next to that was Gleyber Torres. It's just
is he not doing this now in terms of the ball handling and the secondary scoring? Is he not doing? Is Trajan Langdon not doing this with the Corey right now?
No, yes, but I also think it's still a little bit earlier in the Pistons timeline than it is the Tigers timeline. That's all.
Sure, that's also true. And so yeah, I wanted to bring that up just to get the vibe of the fans because I put that out, man, and the comments were like,
because I'm gonna feel like y'all in like a year, like because seeing how this year played out, I can live with it, but I am growing more frustrated too. Like I get the sentiment.
I just think and I know
I'll
people
be there next year probably, but yeah.
Like the one thing that always gets brought up is like, well, they're ahead of schedule. Like I saw someone in the comments say that. I could care less.
I
really could
because they here now.
And people are like, well, they won 60 games last year. They were the 1 seed and they improved. Guys, like they won 60 games. They lost in the second round. If they won 60 games, they were the 1 seed and they went to the conference finals and lost, then and you improve a little bit. Guess what that means, guys? You improved. You could be a finals team. Yeah. You didn't. And Asar wasn't great, isn't good offensively. Jalen Duren was terrible in the playoffs. Yeah. Ron Holland didn't get minutes in the playoffs. And we're just going to sit back and just bank on these guys getting better. That's why, again, this just goes back. I'm gonna keep repeating myself. This goes back to that same point. Why instead of having your number one priority being Jalen Duren, it always needed to be getting a number 2 guy on this team because that's what you needed the most.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, Booner.
Don't even bring number 2. If you bring up a guy at number 2,
I'm so glad you mentioned that.
Way to
set me up as a good teammate. Way to set me up because it's being reported.
ISO.
That
clear out. Let
the
Pistons
work. Are interested in DeMar DeRozan. Huh? So that's
I do not want.
This is from Mark Stein. Mark Stein.
Shout
you guys
out.
know who Mark Stein is. He's one of the best. He put out the Detroit Pistons are evaluating a pursuit of DeMar DeRozan in free agency. KG, stand up!
Yeah.
KG fans.
Hey,
stand up. Hey, KG fans.
They don't want another shooter, man. Let's not spread the floor.
I once again, I didn't say break the door down for DeMar DeRozan. However, I do feel that people make a little bit much of the kind of fit that he would be with this Pistons team, and Kool-Aid's kind of, alluded to that as well. There are other ways that you can stretch the floor, yo. I understand that he is a 32% three-point shooter, which, at 32%, you can live with it. But for what he does and how efficient he is getting to the basket, shooting mid-range shots, and just being that veteran leader and presence that can go get his own bucket that you would need, in late game and playoff situations, I think he would be a good fit for this team. I do. Whether you start him or not, now that's a debate. That's something that we can talk about, because I feel like he would be a great addition to the bench. I wouldn't necessarily want him starting at this point. He's 37. But, just considering what we already have, I think DeRozan would be a solid fit for this team.
I think as we're having this conversation, I think also it'd be a really good idea. Maybe we should go make a couple phone calls to maybe like Kyle Lowry. We can see if let's see if Blake Griffin, maybe Blake Griffin's available. Maybe Pat Bev wants to come out of retirement.
You out your mind.
Malcolm Brogdon, do you think you want to get him
DeMar
too?
DeRozan is 18 a game still at 37.
You think Gordon Hayward would come out of retirement? Go play for? I don't know.
What was Gordon Hayward doing at 37?
I don't know, man. I'm just wondering. I'm not saying obviously the disrespect of DeMar DeRozan.
That's disrespect.
I'm messing around, obviously.
You know what I'll say?
But because DeMar did average 18 a game last year.
Come on, bro.
But at the end of the day, what my point is, it's like, yeah, he is older. Guys,
you still think he could be a starter in this league?
I think he's going to go somewhere and actually start. I think it's unrealistic to be like, hey, come here and be our sixth man. I don't think, and even then, it's like, I cannot wrap my head around a lineup of Cade Cunningham, Asar Thompson, DeMar DeRozan, John Collins, and Jalen Duren.
It's not as bad as you think.
No, it is. You have no. Hey, you know what?
There's worse starting
if I'm the opposing coach, you know what I'm doing? Hey, man, we're sagging off everyone.
Yeah,
let's clog the paint. Cade Cunningham's getting.
And that's fine. We're going
to average 50 points a game.
We're going to have the best pick and roll in all of basketball.
No, and it's not going to work.
Where did the best pick and roll
get us in the basketball? Are they going to go out on shooters? No, we're going to clog the paint on the pick and roll and go ahead and make you shoot the ball. Average 50 points a game and go out there and you can't even shoot the rock.
We had the best pick and roll in basketball last year. We got bounced in the second round.
And y'all can stagger shooter. I don't
stagger shooters. What, you get one on the floor at a time again?
Once again, I'm basing my thoughts off of he's not necessarily going to start for this team.
We're playing in the 70s. That would be a great lineup in the 70s versus the Lakers.
This is why I think he's not starting if he comes here, because you do still need shooting in the lineup, and Duncan is proving he can start. I don't want to hear about that defense bullshit. He's not out there for defense. He's out there to shoot the basketball, and that's what he's very good at doing.
Just one shooter on the floor at a time. We'll stick with that. That's cool.
The difference is you have shooting off the bench as well. I can deploy lineups where I have a 3-point lineup as well. The Pistons didn't have that last year.
You should always have shooters on the floor, man, and they should be able to get buckets too. It should never be, this isn't 2K where I get to call timeout and be like, let me throw my 3-point
But in this situation, you do still have shooters on the floor at all times.
No, you don't. And that's
Duncan in the starting lineup, you have shooters on Isaiah go off the bench.
Cade, Asar, DeRozan, John Collins, and Jalen Duren on the floor at the same time. It's over. It's over.
Relax.
It's over.
You've seen way worse.
You're getting bounced. You're getting bounced in 5 games in the second round.
You've seen worse than that.
In 1972, we would go to the NBA Finals. We're not doing that in 2026 when you need to shoot.
That is your opinion.
You need to score. You need to average 100
y'all
points a
act
game.
like the man shoot 21%. It's 32. I'm not saying it's dead eye.
He shoots like 2 threes a game, I believe.
But that's not his game. But he's efficient as fuck everywhere else. Everywhere else, he's efficient.
But you need him on the outside. You need shooters on the floor.
He shot. Here's the issue for me is I actually like, because you can say to me, Jeff, he adds scoring. You are correct. He does add scoring. The problem is the fit of how he scores is where I'm a little worried.
And I think that's where y'all overplaying. It's not as bad.
Because
you're the one that said that we need shooting this offseason. Now all of a sudden, just because the cool name DeMar DeRozan and averages 18 a game,
you can stretch
he doesn't
the floor
figure
more than just shooting threes.
He can average. I think.
Come on, it's basketball.
Here's the issue. We're talking about this whole offseason has been about adding spacing for Cade. He did.
And they did that.
But then you say, well, not you, but then people are going to convince themselves, let's get DeMar DeRozan. Okay, DeMar DeRozan, could he average 18 a game here? For sure. I think he can come here and average 18 a game. But when you have lineups, and on this round with Booner, we had lineups last year where when you have if Asar could shoot the ball, I would be all in on DeMar DeRozan.
I hear you.
He can't. He can't shoot. Duren cannot shoot. Hopefully that happens. He can't do it. Okay, so Cade would be basically driving to the basket, making plays, balls in his hand or in DeMar's hand or whatever the case may be, and you're looking for shooters. And you got Ausar breathing down your neck because he ain't spacing the floor, and you got Duren breathing down your neck. And by the way, here's DeMar DeRozan breathing down your neck as well. You got 4 guys in the paint. Like, it's too – you need spacing. Now, could he come off the bench? Yeah, I don't think necessarily he wants to do that because Miami's interested in him too. He'd probably start there to your point. I don't like the fit. And people are like, well, you guys want to score so bad, but then you're going to say you don't like how DeMar scores. Guys, you guys know, you watch what DeMar DeRozan, he shoots 2 threes a game.
But we haven't had anybody that efficient in terms of getting to the basket and in the mid-range besides Cade.
But
Name somebody else that we've had just as efficient as that.
But Cade's going to do a majority of that anyway. Like, that's
you
where
need
it's
to
a
spread
weird
the
fit.
floor for Cade Cunningham. You're not spreading the floor for DeMar DeRozan. Like, it just doesn't work.
No, but
and honestly, like, quite frankly, I'll be honest about this. When was the last time DeMar DeRozan went to a team and they ended up being good and winning? Like, he's just a guy that gets 20 points a game on bad teams and below average teams. Like, I've never seen DeMar DeRozan once in his career. He leaves Toronto. What do? Win a championship. He goes to Chicago, leaves there, does nothing in Chicago, goes to Sacramento, does nothing there. Like, we're just
nobody's
to
calling
me,
him a one booner.
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying people are so fascinated by him because he's a former All-Star. He averages 18 a game. It's DeMar DeRozan. It was a big name. Guys, like, just because a big name becomes available doesn't mean we have to be like, yeah, we'll do it and it's going to be a good fit. It's not a good fit. It's just, we know it's not a good fit. Like, to me, what this is like, you could have got Trey Murphy. We just talked about it. The deal was on the table for Trey Murphy. Trajan says no. Trey Murphy shoots 8 threes a game and almost shoots 40%. You could have added a legit piece that fits correctly next to Cade Cunningham, and you want to settle for DeMar DeRozan because he can score efficiently. That's ignorant to do that if you're Trajan Langdon. It is. And okay, will he help you improve your team a little bit? Yeah. It is a step. Like, I'm not saying back to add DeMar DeRozan, but from what you could have had this offseason to that, disappointing, dude. Disappointing. And I'm not saying DeMar DeRozan's bad, but, like, the fit on this team, it's just not there. It isn't. I'm sorry. You need a guy, if you want a guy that can score 18 a game, at least give me shoot 3 or 4 threes a game and you can shoot 38%. You're talking about shooting 2 a game and shooting 30%? Like, what are we talking about here? You just took a step back. You said he did a good job adding shooters. There you go. You just went backwards, KG. Congratulations.
You did
Congratulations.
Not go backwards. But once again, I'm basing this off of he wouldn't be a starter on this team because you did add a John Collins. You can keep a Duncan Robinson in your starting lineup. You can have DeMar DeRozan lead your second unit and have a shooter out there with him. Maybe even 2 in Okoro. You have multiple shooters out there with him. But once again, and there will be lineups, yes, where he is out there with the starters because he is a veteran, proven that he can go out there and get his own bucket. And if y'all, and I do kind of like agree with some of the people, he is a guy that can go get his own bucket. He is a source of secondary scoring. Is he the solution? No. Am I saying they have to trade for him? No. Or have to sign him? No. But I think he can help this team.
You know where the intrigue is from Trajan's point of view? I can't blame him necessarily because you don't have to give up assets.
Right. I must not be that stupid Trajan looking at him.
Well, you don't have to give up assets. So that's like you just sign him. Okay, cool. You don't have to give up any picks. You just pair him in the lineup.
Yeah, it's cool. Non-shooters around. Just keep surrounding Cade with non-shooters.
That's
cool.
It'd be different if he was
We'll be the same team as last year, but we got DeMar DeRozan.
Didn't already add shooters.
But you can't have 8 guys on the floor at once.
But here's the thing. He's going to be carving into the shooters' minutes. He's going to play 20-ish minutes a night. He's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. He's carving into the shooters' minutes.
But
no, you don't. You do not get that.
No, I do. It's game dependent as well. But I'm saying, once again, my argument was based on he's not starting for this team. And I think that it would operate a lot better if he weren't to start for this team. That's it.
Yeah, that's I mean the chat. There's Jay Hart's in here. He likes. Some people like it. Some people
love
don't.
it, man.
It's
I'll tell you. Last time we had this debate, the chat was on my side.
Zach,
hey,
so thank you for
chat's
the 5.
wrong majority of the time.
He says, KG, you're talking to a guy that won't go to a movie theater unless he gets the perfect seat.
And is scared of scary movies, but you know.
What's going on?
My man.
You got called out, Booner. Zach Soap said you won't go to the movie theater unless you get a perfect seat.
I went to the movies yesterday. I didn't have a perfect seat.
Where was your seat?
He's comparing it to what, like the perfect fit for the Pistons?
But again, it's an off-season where you're supposed to put together a championship team. Like this isn't like a throw-together off-season. You have to make strategic moves.
Yeah, like I'm looking at teams. I'm looking at 2 teams that made the finals that have guys. Every guy in the lineup are capable of shooting threes. You know, they're capable.
Yeah.
Like it'd be different to me. Like if DeRozan took like 5 attempts and he shot like 34%. Like I'm not saying the guy's got to be 40%, but if you're not taking any threes, bro, and you're shooting low 30s, I mean, he takes like 1 attempt a game. He's a mid-range player. Which to KG's point, he can score. Awesome. I just think with how you want to build the team around Cade, it does make things different.
Listen, and I want to make it clear. I don't think any of us are going at DeMar DeRozan in a sense of, hey, he can't score. He can. But you need specific type of scoring on this roster right now. That's what you need. And I don't know if that's going to be the piece to where – and also, like, his price. What's his price, too? Like, I'm interested.
It won't be that much.
1-year deal, you think, if they did it?
I honestly,
Yeah,
I would give him a 1-year deal.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
probably.
commit anything because if it doesn't work,
If they did more than a 1-year deal, I think I would crash out.
Yeah.
It would be over.
It'd probably be a 1 year.
Flip this desk.
Yeah,
Heavy
that's fair.
I just don't think the fit is as bad as people make it out. Is it the perfect fit? No, but I don't think it's as bad.
It just gives me that feel of like in Detroit fans, we do this all the time. It's every single sport. When a player becomes available that's a big name or some sort of name and has like a backing, let's get him here. Let's get him here. Let's get him here. Instead of actually like logical thinking. Like, let's actually think about this if this is going to fit or not.
And this ties in, by the way, I want to mention this. We didn't mention this about the article, but the Ausar Thompson extension, I do want to mention this. So Hunter Patterson in the article talked about how much of a priority is extending Ausar Thompson, which if he was the player that was involved in the rumored deal, no wonder they said no because they have plans to extend him. So here's what Hunter wrote about that. So it says, since Duren's deal has yet to be finalized this offseason, or has to be finalized this offseason, Thompson will enter restricted free agency next summer. Duren's deal takes priority, but once Duren's contract is settled, the Pistons would like to sign Thompson to a long-term deal as they see him as one of the franchise pillars. He mentions here, Trajan Langdon said publicly at the end of his the end of season news press conference that they'll be working to get deals done, finalized with both Duren and Thompson, and understand it'll be expensive. So as soon as Duren is done, his contract is done, the priority of the move is to start Thompson, extending him. And he is a defensive player of the year candidate. He's not, he can do things with the basketball in his hands. He can't shoot, but he's not a bad, he can play make. He can attack the basket. He's super athletic. But I do wonder what that price tag would be for a guy like Ausar Thompson. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Because I don't know because you're paying him because he's one of the best, if not one of the best defenders in the NBA.
Yes.
Perimeter defenders, no doubt. And you have to keep a guy on your team. This is where I'll defend Ausar. You have to keep a guy on your team that can take on the opponent's best player.
He can guard 1 through 4 easy, damn near every night.
Yeah. Like, so that's where I understand I'm fully in on keeping him. Like,
I think his contract, it could be 162 of 5 years. 162 million 5 years is like, I think, the max I'm looking at here. So that's 32 a year. Would you pay that for him?
Not the max, I don't think.
Maybe you go a little, maybe
25.
Yeah, maybe.
Y'all thought we was arguing about Duren.
See, I'm curious. This is what I'm curious about. Like, if you want to get that deal done, I understand it, because if he does take, hypothetically, Boone, he does take an offensive jump this year, you got to pay him every dollar.
He's Ausar or Ausar? Yeah.
He's a two-way star at that point.
But again, you're signing him now, right? This offseason.
That's what it says. The priority would be.
So that's the thing where it's like you don't really even get to see that yet. So maybe you try and get him at 25, and
I'd get him early.
That's the first contract in his career he's going to get. And then if he does start to take that jump in a couple of years, now you reward him, right? That's one of those things where, hey, go out there and prove it. He is still young. Like, it's not like he's
very much so
30 years old and you're like, hey, can you take a jump? Like, no, he's a young player.
And you ideally he gets a jump shot, but you guys can all agree, like, Knicks won the finals. The Knicks had OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, 2 elite perimeter defenders. That is essential to win in the NBA. Like, to have an Ausar Thompson, they do not grow on trees.
Yeah.
His ability to guard the other team's best player, especially when Cade is also a two-way player. People don't talk about that enough. But to have Ausar, who you could be like, all right, Cade, you don't have to take on the best player, Donovan Mitchell in a playoff series or whoever it is. Hey Ausar, go get him. Stay on him. They'll be fine.
And he can handle the basketball.
And he can as well.
That's what makes his offense so frustrating, though, because he's a good passer. He's a willing passer. So if he was any kind of an offensive threat, that would make their offense so much more dynamic, man. It's just unfortunate. And we do have Fred Vinson, somebody that we thought was a shooting guru here to kind of help with that. But it's just one of those things. I don't know if he's ever going to have that jump shot we all ask for. I just want him at a bare minimum to get more efficient at finishing at the rim, because if he can do that, then that helps the Pistons greatly. But if he can't become a shooter, then yes, it's kind of tough to want to pay him max money at that point.
Let's go to break. When we come back, we'll talk more about this. We got Thrive, and we'll double up here. Or are we good? We don't have
I think we're good.
All right, tell us about Thrive.
All right, let me tell you guys about Thrive. It's time to upgrade your game with the Thrive Energy pouches. It is a tobacco-free, nicotine-free mental powerhouse packing over 300 milligrams of clean and smart caffeine, including alpha GPC and L-theanine. No jitters, no sugar crash, zero bloating. You can also, you see it on the screen there at dipstop.com. You can find them 15% off your entire order with the promo code WSN, and you can also find them at all Market Fresh or Market Square locations. It's Thrive. They just effing work.
Jameer Gibbs, breakout season, loading.
Inside the 5, Gibbs to the end zone, touchdown!
Woodward Sports, the most dominant Detroit sports coverage around.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
This is a hungry bear. This is Carl and Jeff. Carl isn't worried because he has focused energy to spare thanks to Thrive energy pouches. Jeff didn't use Thrive when Carl offered. The bear is happy about that. Don't just survive. Thrive.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Shout out to Loom Cannabis and their new Buzzin' Energy drinks, man. The same THC that you love, 7.5 milligrams, but it's now paired with 100 milligrams of caffeine from green tea extract. But it's not artificial, man. It's the real deal, bold in flavor, light in calories, and built for these long summer days and hopefully better air we'll have in the next week or so. But you can try it in refreshing peach or raspberry lemonade. Available at all 40 locations across the great state of Michigan. You can learn more by going to loom.com, and don't forget you get 30% off your entire order online or in store by using code WSN30. Get yours.
We're back. It's crunch time here on Woodward Sports. We are joined by a very special guest to talk to us about the Cranbrook Tennis Classic. David Demuth, the chair, CEO of Donor, joins the show. David, we appreciate you joining us to talk to us today. And I'm excited. We're excited to have you to talk about it because for our chat, the Cranbrook Tennis Classic returns for a 4th year. And I want to start off by asking you, can you talk about just the significance of the event? Because I know in 2025, the tournament was awarded the ATP Challenger Tournament of the Year, voted by players, ATP staff, beating out hundreds of tournaments worldwide. Could you educate some of our fans that may not know what's going on over at the Cranbrook Tennis Classic?
Yeah, well, we start on Sunday. It's the 4th edition of the tournament. It's part of the ATP Challenger Tour, which is the men's professional tennis tour. In the Challenger level, it's really, think of it kind of like the best players in AAA baseball. They're going between the major leagues and AAA, kind of back and forth. It's those types of players really fighting to get to that next level, to be in the main draw of every Grand Slam, to be top 100 in the world, where sort of the economics of professional tennis change rather dramatically. So that's the types of players. We'll have players ranked anywhere. We have one player, Alex Michelson. He's been ranked as high as 30 in the world. We've got guys 60, 70, 80. I think we have 10 guys who just played Wimbledon. One of our key players, Thanasi Kokkinakis, just made the semifinals of Wimbledon doubles. So it's world-class tennis. It's among the best players in the world. And I think what's cool about it is every seat is a great seat. You are right on top of the action, and you really get a sense of kind of the intensity of the competition, the speed, the spin of the ball, all of those things that maybe you can't appreciate on television.
Yeah, David, I want to bring that up there, too, because that was something I noticed when we were looking at the event and kind of going through it was, one, the affordability of the tickets to be able to kind of go watch. The pros. You said you had 10 players that were in Wimbledon. That's, one, incredible. But also here on top of that, being in Detroit and kind of in the city and in the state, to be able to grow the game within the state of Michigan. And people have the opportunity to go actually see the best of the best in tennis basically come out here at an affordable price. And basically, you're sitting on the court, basically. Like, you're in the game. Can you talk about that and kind of the affordability of this event over the next week or so?
Yeah, look, that was part of the whole vision of the event, was to make the highest level of tennis accessible to the people. You know, if you follow sports pretty carefully, you know that tennis has really kind of had a moment in the culture the last couple of years. More and more people are playing. And for me, I think part of what inspires people to want to get out and play is the opportunity to see the pros compete. And, you know, if you also follow sports, you know that professional sporting event is rather expensive these days. So you can come to the Cranbrook Tennis Classic. Parking is free. The tickets are anywhere between $20 and $30, and you have an amazing seat. Just something you really can't experience many other places in sports. And, you know, that's why we're doing this, is we want to help grow the game. We want to make it more accessible, and we want to kind of share the love of it to the people, you know. I joke sometimes, you know, I go to the US Open every year in New York, and, you know, I say at the US Open, you can't buy a hot dog for the price of a ticket at the Cranbrook Tennis Classic. So, you know, that's part of our vision, is to make it affordable for people.
Yeah, I think, especially I'll speak for the fans of just sports in general, we're invested in storylines, invested in players, because if you're the one that got to see, you know, Barry play at Oklahoma State, or you get to see these guys before they ascend, that's the best part of sports, and you guys are doing that. I mean, you mentioned Alex Michelson, the 10 guys that played at Wimbledon. Former champions include Steve Johnson, who went on to win 4 ATP titles. He's ranked 15th in the world, but this tournament clearly holds weight in the sports. That's what I'm basically getting at. And can you just talk about how an event like this can benefit the players in the future for their careers?
Well, totally. This is basically a platform for them to build and grow their career and move up the rankings, both in terms of winning ranking points, but also earning prize money. You know, it's expensive to travel the world and play professional tennis. So this is really the platform to the highest level. If you go back 2 years, our 2024 champion, a young man named Lerner Tien, is now the 14th ranked player in the world. You know, that's pretty incredible. If you watched Wimbledon and you saw Arthur Fury, who made the semifinals, Arthur Fury lost in the quarterfinals here last year. So this is a platform to building your career. And what we tend to get at our tournament are players who are on the rise, the young up-and-comers like a Lerner Tien, who, you know, is going on to great things, or a player who's maybe trying to rebuild their career, who's maybe had an injury and is coming back from injury. This year we have Thanasi Kokkinakis, the very exciting Australian player. Thanasi won the Australian Open doubles a couple years ago with his buddy Nick Kyrgios. He's beaten Roger Federer. Okay, so you know the guy can play, right? But he struggled with some injuries and stuff. And a tournament like this is a way for him to begin gaining some momentum again. Thanasi played Wimbledon this year, and I think he lost to the 10 seed in 5 sets. So you're seeing the best of the best here. And, you know, they're all on their own unique journey. We have, I think, 3 former NCAA champions this year. We have some local flavor in there with Ozan Baris, who is an All-American, just graduated from Michigan State, probably the best player in their history. A couple of University of Michigan graduates in Gavin Young and Pat Maloney and Evan King. So a really cool collection of players from all over the world, you know, looking to build their career and make it to the biggest of the big stages.
Hey, David, I do want to ask you about your charity, Tennis Forward, before we get you out of here. All those proceeds for Tennis Forward go to the Palmer Park Tennis Academy in Detroit. Can you tell the people a little bit more about the charity and what it does for the community, and as well how people are able to kind of help out with that charity as well?
Yeah, look, if you support the tournament, you're supporting Tennis Forward, which is my own family foundation, which is all about creating opportunity through tennis. And any profits from the tournament, of which there aren't any, but we give money away. We give money away anyways. We give to Palmer Park. We've given Palmer Park Tennis Academy over $100,000, which is critical to them to pay coaches, to get court time indoors in the winter, to get tennis balls, equipment. whatever. And look, part of the reason I did this tournament is because I was inspired by Coach Lee, Lenora King, who founded the Palmer Park Tennis Academy. You know, she's the lady that when they were going to close all the public parks in Detroit, when the city was in bankruptcy, she organized people and convinced the city to keep the parks open. So, you know, that was inspiring to me, and I love tennis, and I wanted to give something back. And then we give money back to Cranbrook as well, which is also an amazing partner in this tournament and an amazing place. Beyond the tennis this week, you can do all sorts of other cool things, play mini golf at the art museum, or walk around the grounds, or check out the flowers and the statues and all the other cool stuff out there.
David, we appreciate the time. Cranbrook Tennis Classic. It's for the community, by the community. Get your tickets. And please, you're helping grow the game of tennis. I know people like myself, Booner, I can speak for everyone here at the show. The interest is growing, and you're a big part of that. So we appreciate you taking the time with us today, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you for having me, guys.
No problem. There
Thanks,
you go.
David.
David DeBooth joining us to talk about the Cranbrook Tennis Classic. Let's go to break. When we come back, get those mailbag questions fired up, because a lot of thoughts being shared in the chat. I've seen it. Reiterate those
Here
thoughts.
we go.
Turn it into a mailbag question, and let's talk about it. But first, we got
let's do amnesia right now.
Amnesia.
A little bit of amnesia, man. And listen, you don't want to forget that these are some of the best products that the great state of Michigan has to offer. And Amnesia is proud to be available at all of the top dispensaries across the state, with multiple products for adults 21 and up. Their newest launch is the Switch. It's a 2-gram dual chamber disposable featuring liquid diamonds with 2 chambers and 2 different flavor profiles. You can enjoy the left, you can enjoy the right, or come together and enjoy both at the same damn time. But discover your new favorite with the Switch by Amnesia.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
It's game on at Art & Jake's. Wings, burgers, pizza, and ice-cold drinks served up with attention to detail. Wall-to-wall TVs, great service, and a vibe that keeps your crew coming back. Art & Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Big ups to Gold Crown. You know I love Gold Crown. Their reps were just here earlier in the week, and they brought some of these Royal Jesters through, so I thank them for that. But they trying to bless y'all with them too. The Royal Jesters, 1.5 grams each, and they are quad infused, which means keep coated, live resin infused, THCA diamonds and terpenes, all packed into 4 layers of goodness that'll have you feeling right and ready for the summer. But Michigan made, top tier, no shortcuts. Next time you hit the dispo, don't think just ask for the Royal Jesters, because if you're gonna smoke, you should smoke like royalty.
Your relaxation to the next level. Visit Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, the largest massage chair room in the Midwest, featuring top brands like Infinity and Osaki. They are your destination for premium comfort and cutting-edge wellness technology. Experience the difference with Dr. Eric Duncan, the Wellness Doc, and creator of the #1 YouTube channel for massage chair reviews at the Wellness Doc. Book your visit today at massagechairhouse.com or scan the QR code on your screen. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
Get the mailbag here to close out the show. Is this true, by the way? Mike G. Millsack, who is a better Cranbrook alum, Broder or Papa Doc? Hey, did Broder go to Cranbrook?
That's a good question.
He did. Yeah, confirmed. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He's Cranbrook.
Damn.
Papa Doc, is that...
Papa Doc?
Off 8 Mile?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Doc.
He went to Cranbrook. That's a
I heard Doc. I know that. I've seen 8 Mile. I was thinking of John the Doc Macaroon. And I was like, I was like,
Papa
wait,
Doc?
Papa Doc.
I was like, Macaroon went to Cranbrook?
That's funny.
You can see the
Damn, you saying
confusion.
he can't go to Cranbrook?
No, he could, but I'd be shocked. I would be shocked if he did.
No, I'll answer no.
Yeah.
No.
That was like a shocking moment for me when
shit.
when I saw Papa Doc. I was like, wait a second.
Doc's one of the boys. Could we go? No.
No.
Broder did, though. Shout out.
Shout out, brother,
Yeah,
man.
Went to Michigan, too.
Yeah, he did.
Struck out George Springer.
Very
Cranbrook.
prestigious.
Yeah, Cranbrook
Broder.
in Michigan. What a path.
I know. It's my boy, man. Shout
Man.
out, brother.
John Lord Mailbag. Who wins 2 out of 3? Jeff or Boone in an Oklahoma drill?
Ooh.
I got to go with Boone on this
Yeah.
one. Oh. It's all, yeah.
No, you gotta have, and I always have this theory about Booner. He is psycho.
Yeah, he's crazy, yeah.
You gotta have a little bit of psycho,
To want to hit, yeah.
Like we go to the, I don't care if I bench more, do anything more, but he just has that it fact. He's just crazy. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Like
and I mean that with a compliment.
Yeah, no, I mean I played football growing up. I used to I didn't play a lot, but like in practice, I was like I did not back down from hitting anyone.
Like I told Booner, if he ever gets in like a UFC fight, I was like, he would be like that one dude Sean O'Malley pieced up with the green hair.
Yeah.
He would just never go down, bro.
Yeah.
Like I think Booner would just.
The only way I'd go down is if something like shatters.
Yeah.
You're right.
Like if my jaw shatters.
Like,
I'm
you
done.
might go down. You get hit the right way. You might go down.
If something shatters, then I'm probably down. But outside of that, as long as if I'm good, I'll just keep taking them.
Like he'd be like at the end, like he might lose, but everyone's gonna be like, "Wow, that dude put up. He was battling it."
You're gonna kill him. Stop.
Yeah, he's a different level there. Smash the number. Well, actually, Jay Hart I think is the actual first one there. Mailbag. Trading a star is like trading Hutch. I get what you're trying to do, Jay Hart. I get it from a defensive perspective, but like
Jay Hart, I love Jay Hart, man. You have some interesting thought process.
Jay Hart, yeah, I love Jay Hart. He's one of
Your mind works in different ways.
He's one of our loyal listeners, but like
I get what he's trying to say. I do.
I understand the defensive side of that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Smash the numbers, mailbag. Would any of you go to a wait, I don't even know what this question is.
Where is it?
Who sent it?
A Michelin star fixed price $300 a person restaurant and truly enjoy it. I did it for the first couple of days. I did it for the first time a couple days ago, and it was mind blowing how good it was.
Yeah, those places. I've never been, but I've told you guys before. My brother's a chef in like Birmingham.
That's out of my time.
And like I've never been to his restaurant because it's just like $300.
Yeah. What do I always say?
But it's good.
Is it a Michelin star even in Michigan? I don't think he's probably going to talk about out of town. I don't think.
My go-to.
I know Chicago has a lot.
My go-to with this. It's out of my tax bracket.
Yeah,
that's my.
We got to do it like once though.
That's my. That's my.
We have to do it
once. Let's see. Zach Soap mailbag. Booner, do you ever have nightmares, and is that why you're scared of scary movies?
Listen, I'm starting to get into scary movies now. Growing up, that was a different question.
He put his toe in the water with
with
Obsession
which
got
ain't
me.
a horror movie.
No,
Yeah,
that's why when everyone was like it was scary, I was like, wait a second.
When that new Insidious comes out, you locked in? Or no?
I'll consider.
Oh, I'm locked in.
It's one of those things. It's like I'm a free agent, and really right now I have a lot of teams that are offering me.
I'm a free agent.
I'm listening to offers.
Okay.
For Insidious is crazy.
Yeah, if we can get you creeping in their direction, it's still a win. I do.
Yeah, we're gonna get you there, bro.
Eventually, I'm gonna go. Maybe Insidious. That looks scary.
Just know the monsters can't hurt you.
There was a new movie. There was a movie though, and yesterday I did actually see it, The Odyssey yesterday. By the way, let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah.
I told the boys this. I'm a guy that always says every movie is great.
I don't think you've ever disliked a movie.
But The Odyssey, I'll tell you what, it is great.
Border movie review.
I'm being dead serious though. Like it was it's a 3-hour long movie. Went to the IMAX with the boys. It is legit.
Out of 5 stars?
4.8, 4.9.
See, here's the thing.
No, but it's Christopher Nolan.
No.
It's up there with like the Oppenheimer. It's up there with the Dark Knight. It is up there, and it lives up to the hype.
You very well could be telling the truth. The problem.
That's what I'm saying. I've really heard.
The problem is you say it so much. I don't like when you say it. I'm like I don't know.
I have to earn my trust back. I understand that,
but
I will say, yeah. So Disclosure Day. Disclosure Day. I said the greatest alien movie of all time. This knocks Disclosure Day out of the park.
So to Booner, according to you, this is the greatest movie year in the history of movies.
No,
because we've had a lot of all-time.
I've seen better movies, but it's good. Like
Wait till Spider-Man come out next week.
It comes out today. And
it comes out next week?
Yeah, Spider-Man does.
The 31st it comes out.
Let's go.
Not next week,
but today, go see The Odyssey. And it's stacked with massive actors, A-list actors and actresses. It's
a
so
blockbuster
good.
movie.
We went last night at 10 p.m. I didn't go home until like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I'll tell you what, it was worth it. Like I was like, at first I was like, I don't know.
Now this is a remake of the older Odyssey.
I never even seen the older one. I just remember in high school we read the
remake.
book, like all that.
Yeah.
I kind of have an idea.
There was a lot of pressure on this one to be a hit.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
they not. Christopher Nolan knocked it out of the park.
He's a good.
He's amazing, man. Let's get out of here. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there. We appreciate David for joining the show, talking about what's going on at the Cranbrook Tennis Classic. Also, Pistons news we talked about today. We'll be back Monday, 11 a.m. So be there. Can't wait to talk to you. Braylon Anson, 2 to 4. Heavyweights, 5 to 7. Hit that like button. We'll see you Monday. Peace.
Peace. Love you.
The next generation of Detroit sports media is here. Crunch Time is back on Woodward Sports. Join Jeff Iafrate and Booner Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Taking Detroit sports coverage to the next level with massive interviews, viral moments, and the best live reactions. Get ready, Detroit. The young guns are taking over. Crunch Time on Woodward Sports.